Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, enough of this bye week stuff. We did all that last week. 5 days of radio with no football game to prepare for. I mean, what are you supposed to do with yourself in the middle of college football country, in the middle of college football season? You don't have to worry about it again. Remember getting into it last week. 11 straight weekends now with a Razorback football or basketball game, and 31 consecutive weeks with something going on that you care about as far as your Arkansas Razorbacks are concerned. So the vacation's over. Now the work really begins, Matt Jones. Now, last week was just sort of like, a rehearsal. We didn't have a game to prepare for. Now you got Auburn to get ready for. So we had a good time last week, but now it's all business, okay? We're not allowed to have any fun.
Week.
It's all business now, yeah. Just game week. And that'll go along with all of the usual media availabilities. Sam Pittman will speak to the media in a little less than an hour. It's also game day. Got a basketball game tonight on this very radio station. We get a chance to listen to Chuck and Z, and I know you can watch it too on SEC Plus against Rogers State, 7 o'clock tip. So, yeah, last week of October, and we get to get into all this Razorback stuff. We got Mike Irwin in the next segment. We've got Clay Henry joining us a day earlier. He's in the fly shop today. We'll see if there are any people that stop by to talk sports with him or talk flies with him while we have him on the air from Saturday Down South in hour number 3. So, how about those LSU Tigers? So we kind of, I think you could see the money was going on them all week long last week. The going thought was that Ole Miss was kind of a bit of a paper tiger. They hadn't really played anybody, and going into Baton Rouge, that would be shown for everybody right there. And then they get up 17-3 early in the second quarter, and I'm thinking, wow, I did not see this coming. And from that point on, absolutely all LSU. I don't know if you necessarily say, Matt, like Ole Miss was exposed as a pretender. They didn't look like a contender in the SEC West on Saturday, and LSU most definitely did.
They look like the more talented team towards the end. You're right. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Arkansas against A&M, playing well, and then in the second half, like just not even showing up. And LSU was able to make the proper adjustments, and we know this. You look at the recruiting rankings every year. LSU's in the top 5, top 10. They got talent on that team, and I was talking, Phil. We were talking about that. About it's always funny when LSU or Florida struggles on offense. I think it's funny because they have so much talent. You just don't understand what it is. And then you saw them go, and Ole Miss couldn't stop anybody. They hadn't played anybody, and LSU was able to have their way.
Yeah, and held Ole Miss to 3.2 yards per rush. And once the Rebels fell behind, and I don't know how much they've trailed while they went undefeated for the first 6 games, but it does not appear to be the kind of team that is built to come from behind. You got to be able to throw the ball in order to do that, and they really can't throw the ball very much. And they couldn't run it either against LSU. So, yeah, Jaden Daniels, you're going to talk about like the offense for LSU. And I remember back in camp when Miles Brennan basically retired from the sport of football after being passed over, and they didn't announce that Daniels would be the starting quarterback because Nussmeier is still there, and I think they wanted to give him at least a chance to compete for it. But, man, Jaden Daniels has kind of announced himself now as one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. And in order for that to be the case, like, you got to be a dual threat now. You can't just be a pocket passer and do it that way. But this is somebody that can beat you in the air, got a great set of receivers, beat you on the ground. And that's one thing that makes me nervous. Like, when Arkansas faces Ole Miss and LSU back-to-back weeks, Matt, in less than a month now. And I feel like Arkansas is well prepared or well suited to be able to not stop Ole Miss, but certainly slow them down and put up the necessary point total to win. LSU is a different story. Good quarterbacks scare me a little bit against Arkansas, and I think Daniels is one of the best in the league right now.
Yeah, I haven't got to see much of him play this year, and so it was good to watch him play. And then you saw the kid from Tennessee, the dual threat. Man, they 23 carries, 121 yards, 21 of 28, 248. Didn't really do too much wrong. Counted for 5 touchdowns. Man, he's I probably had the best week out of any quarterback in the SEC this week. I mean, that's getting it done.
Well, Will Rogers did not have a good week for Mississippi State. This is a Jekyll and Hyde kind of a team, I think, that Mike Leach has. They play incredibly well at home, but they're not very good on the road. They do have one road win, but that wasn't in the SEC. That was against Arizona. 1-3 on the road after getting drubbed in Tuscaloosa 30-6. And, I mean, you look at a couple of the final scores from the SEC this past Saturday, Matt, and you got Mississippi State laying an egg, as they have now done for 16 straight years against Alabama, and Texas A&M dropped by South Carolina. And you're looking at, Mississippi State just totally shredded Arkansas on the ground. They did the same to Texas A&M. They've now run in the past 2 road games. These are back-to-back weeks. Mississippi State has run for a total of 84 yards. They got about that in about a half against Arkansas. And so that's one thing that really kind of sticks in my craw when I see it, how Alabama beat Mississippi State. And look, South Carolina better than I guess we expected now and the more you look at A&M and the season that they're putting together in 3 straight losses, and honestly, Matt, it should be 4. When the season is over and you look back at, and I don't know, who knows what happens in the next 5 games for the Hogs, right? We feel pretty good about what they've got in the future. But you're going to end up looking back on that Texas A&M game. I mean, you remember how you felt when it ended. But once the season's over and A&M maybe misses a bowl, you'll be looking back like, oh my gosh, how the heck did we lose that game?
Yeah, 5-2 would be pretty. That South Carolina victory looking better and better though each week. Like you said, I was not impressed with South Carolina when I watched that game way back in September. But they're getting better, and that's what happens. And by now you should know your identity of your team. You should know what you are. I would have missed that though. I thought, but. The week after you play Bama, they kind of beat you up a little bit. It's tough. And South Carolina 5-2.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. But again, it's that was the second week of the season that the Razorbacks basically pushed them around the field. And things changed since then.
I remember talking. It's like, did they even have camp this year? Who'd y'all play the first game of the year? Like they looked incompetent at times against Arkansas, and it's a good thing we caught them on that off day because we've had our moments this year too, and man, I'm looking forward to this game. I thought BYU was probably our most complete game we played as an offense and defense. We're going to give up points, bend don't break, but I'm looking forward to got another week off. You look at it, KJ got a week off, looks sharp. Then you he had a concussion, BYU, and then you're getting a week off and then going to Auburn. Now I don't know the whole you do the Saracen, so it's 5. Is that what it was? That's kind of scary to give up to have to give up 5 points with this Arkansas team. But that just tells you
what you last saw because I mean it was 4.5 this morning. The line started at 3. I mean the money is just rolling in on the Razorbacks right now, man. So the last time I looked, and it was about an hour and a half ago. The line was at 4.5. So if it's grown to 5 already, amazing.
Scary with that defense, though. I don't know. I'd hate to lay 5 points with that. The Arkansas, they could throw one deep at any time.
Well, there's a lot of things that Auburn just does not do very well. They're dead last in the nation in turnover margin. They can't throw the ball a lick. They're near dead last in completion percentage in the nation. And I just look, it's going on the road, so you have to respect that. It's a tough place to win. Arkansas hasn't won at Auburn very often. And so there is that, and they do have, they have a great running back. Tank Bigsby is still having a good year. And with the mess that Auburn is offensively, that says something about his talent. And they got a running quarterback too. So he can't throw very much, whether it's Robbie Ashford or whether it's TJ Finley, and it's been Ashford mostly. He can really run. So there are a couple of things that they do well, Auburn. They do a whole host of things terribly that I think Arkansas can and should take advantage of.
We should be able to run the ball pretty good with them. Rocket can run on anybody. He's been getting better. And I like all our backs, but I think we'll run the ball as much as we want against Auburn. And I just wonder. I'm just not sold on our defense against anybody yet. So I hope our defense shows up and is ready to play. And then as an offense, you got to be going through it thinking, let's don't turn the ball over. Let's get some first downs. Let's don't turn the ball over. Let's keep our defense off the field as much as we can and keep the ball in the hands of our offense, because I still think we got to score 40 to win. I think Auburn's going to score a couple. I just don't think our defense is good enough to shut anybody out, and Auburn has a little talent. So I think we still going to have to score 40 to win.
Well, Auburn did score 34 in their last game. Of course, they're coming off a bye as well, but in the last game they put up 34 against Ole Miss, which is the most points they've scored against an SEC team and the most they've scored by 10 points against any FBS team. But hopefully, and we'll find out again at 12 noon, I'm sure Sam Pittman will be asked pretty early in the presser about the availability of some of these guys in the secondary that have either missed games or been limited of late. Kari Johnson, Jaden Johnson, and of course, Miles Slusher. So the availability of the three of them may have a lot to do with Arkansas's ability to slow down Auburn and maybe stop them on Saturday. 11 o'clock kick is going to be a busy Saturday as well because the basketball team plays in Texas. And so this week, the basketball team has a couple of exhibitions. And it's weird to have a Monday exhibition. It really is. Like a Monday, a midweek exhibition game is different. Muss alluded to it on Friday's presser, but I didn't realize that there had been, usually they would have played it on a Sunday. There was some sort of an esports convention or like an esports tournament that was held inside Bud Walton Arena over the weekend. So that got precedence.
That's big time right there. When are we going to do some NIL, get some scholarships with the esports, huh?
I think there are universities, that have esports teams right now.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if there's a – like it doesn't matter unless you're playing Madden in the SEC. But we don't necessarily have that anymore. At some point we will.
You see them on the Game Network flying the drones and that stuff. I mean, they're talented. I know we laugh and stuff, but you got to put some time in to do that. And when I went to like kind of like the Super Bowl for soccer, it was a World Champions League final. Right before the game, they had up on the Jumbotron, the big screen, two winners that had played in a bracket to get a chance to win tickets there, and they were playing each other on a game on the EA Sports PlayStation game right before the match. That's how big it was, yeah.
Yeah, there were some of us who thought maybe that's the way you could actually have college football during the pandemic. Just play it on the video screen. It was still more fun to be able to watch them bump against each other. All right, we're going to step aside for a break. We've got Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation joining us after this on Halftime.
Hey, this is Chuck Barrett, and I want you to know how excited I am to be part of the team at ESPN Arkansas. It's a winning team, and I'm glad they've let me sign up. I've missed being on the air. I've missed talking to all of you, and I'm going to get a chance to do that again, and I'm very happy about that. I hope you'll make plans to join me. I'm going to be on 3 days a week with Ty and Tommy on the Morning Rush, and you can follow me on Halftime with Phil Elson, and I'll even make an appearance or two on Ruskin and Zach. So join me on ESPN Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate kids, not indoctrinate them with the left's agenda. We will empower parents, not bureaucrats. And we will prepare students for the workforce, not government dependency. I believe every kid growing up in this state should have access to a quality education, a good job, and a better life right here in Arkansas.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders will fight back against Biden and the radical left's agenda.
Inflation is a pay cut for every Arkansan, and Biden's policies are only making it worse. As governor, I'll begin phasing out the state income tax to give you a pay raise and unleash bold reforms to make Arkansas one of the best places to start and grow a business, creating thousands of new, high-paying jobs.
Fighting back against the radical left, empowering Arkansans. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for governor. Paid for by Sarah for governor.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source LLC makes customers smile, one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street, across from Play It Again Sports, or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC. No problem.
Get by your locally owned TGI Fridays in Fort Smith and make it a double combo with the Jamie Foxx Fox on the Rocks box with Friday's big ribs and wings served with seasoned fries and one of our 2 new awesome sauces. The new Fox on the Rocks barbecue sauce made with BSB brown sugar bourbon flavored whiskey and whiskey glaze blaze. And now Fridays has $2 beer all day every day. So stop by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma invites you to come meet 5-star basketball recruit Anthony Black, Tuesday, October 25th from 3:30 to 5 p.m. While you're there, check out our entire line of bad boy tractors and mowers. Now's the time to buy with great financing rates. Mark your calendars for Tuesday, October 25th from 3:30 to 5 p.m. to meet Anthony Black, the 5-star basketball recruit at Alma Tractor and Equipment, Highway 64 and 71 in Alma.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Cloudy skies, going to get some much-needed rain in a day or two across our great state. And back to football season for Arkansas with Auburn on the schedule for Saturday, 11 in the morning. And I like having that 11 in the morning game on the road. We got Mike Irwin with us here from Pig Trail Nation. Mike, appreciate your time today. What did you do over the bye weekend? Did you watch a bunch of college football on Saturday?
Yeah, I did, and I've said before, I even if I have no interest in the 2 teams I'm watching, I'll pick one at some point, and I'll say, okay, I want these guys to win. But most of the time, I have a pretty good idea, and it turned out well. I hate the Aggies. The Aggies got beat. Don't like the Longhorns. They got beat. Kind of was pulling, obviously against Missouri, and they almost blew it, but not quite. So it was almost a perfect weekend.
Did you put in time watching Vanderbilt and Missouri? Were you the one who did that?
Well, I was going back and forth, as this was all at night after I finished work, and I was just at home flipping back and forth. And So I didn't watch the whole game, but just little bits and pieces trying to figure out what was going on. And, and then I watched, obviously, some games that really mattered, like my eyeballs are popping out over Liberty. I'm going, whoa, wait a minute, that suddenly looks like a tough game. And then really surprised with the way LSU manhandled Ole Miss. So I watched a lot of games this weekend.
Yeah, Liberty ran for 300 yards against BYU. They gained almost 550. I mean, does that change any of your perspective of Arkansas's performance against the Cougars a couple of weeks ago, or is it just a matter of, Liberty played a really good game and they had them at home?
Well, I think Liberty's good. Their quarterback has been hurt. I think he broke his hand early in the season. He's supposedly back this week, and they have an open date. So that could make that game doubly tough, because what I was really impressed with was their defense. They did all right offensively, but they just have an outstanding defense, especially good pass defense. So that's going to be a tough game. But, the season is going to be decided in that 3-game homestand. You got to figure you got to go beat Auburn. And I'm not saying that'll be easy, but that's a winnable game. Ole Miss is a winnable game. You've got these 3 games at home. And if you win 2 of those 3, if you beat Liberty and say either Ole Miss or LSU, then you're back to 8 wins in the regular season, which is where they were last year, which to me, this is a tougher schedule. So it would still be an improvement as we look at Sam Pittman's time here. I think a lot of fans want to see continued improvement, and I think that would be a sign that the program is getting better.
Well, you want an SEC West win. I mean, it doesn't matter who it comes against now, but it happens to be against a team that's really struggling in a number of areas. Auburn can't hold on to the football. They can't take it away. They can't throw. It just looks like a good matchup for Arkansas. What do you think about this one Saturday?
Well, they've had some games where they were really competitive, and they did beat Missouri. I mean, that's not some great thing to beat Missouri when you're at home, but I thought Missouri was going to win that game, and they kind of blew it at the end. You can't lose this game. If you really want to finish strong, and if you want to come off that BYU win and with some momentum, then you got to go to Auburn and you got to win that game. At Arkansas, it doesn't have a good history in the last few years against Auburn.
Well, and Mike, hey man, Matt Jones here. When you look, they played LSU, Georgia, Ole Miss. I mean, all 3, picked on paper, to beat Auburn this year. So you got to think Auburn after the bye week probably looking at Arkansas as the actual, for them, a winnable game. You have to think that they're going to try to throw the kitchen sink at us as far as onside kicks or fake punts.
I think they'll go into this game with confidence. And I mean, you've been there. Auburn's a tough place to play. They got really good fans. It's a difficult place to win. So I don't think you go in there just assuming you're going to win, even though they're struggling this year. And you just kind of got to hope that anytime you start hearing this talk that your coach is out, and in this case, he was supposedly out before the season started. So I don't know how that affects players. I think it affects different players in different ways, but sometimes when you're sitting there playing for a guy and you think, man, he's not going to be here anyway, and maybe I don't want him here, I don't think you try to lose, but maybe subconsciously you don't play as hard. So that could come into play. It's just hard to say.
Mike, Rocket Sanders has numbers that are sort of similar, not right there with Darren McFadden in his sophomore year, but they're kind of similar to it. I know you kind of need one of those like 300-yard games, which are so rare, to get to the 1,800 or so that D-Mac had. But this is the one thing you can kind of hang your hat on for Arkansas offensively, is not just Rocket, but you got a great group of running backs and KJ, of course. Is this how you beat Auburn? Is this an opportunity to maybe just kind of run over them the way Ole Miss did?
Maybe you start off doing that and seeing if it works, but it's been my experience watching this team that if you just throw in a few passes along the way, it helps that running game so much. I think they've gotten into trouble in some games, and it's not just running, it's the play calling, and it's the option part of it. I just think KJ's got to learn to pull that ball out from time to time, because that's what everybody's keying on. They're keying on Rocket. So if he pulls that out and goes around the corner, he's got a first down in many cases. So yeah, the guy's having a great year. He still started the season about 500 yards behind D-Mac because D-Mac had over 1,000 yards as a freshman, and Rocket was about 500. So I don't know that he breaks his record if he stays here 4 years maybe. I'll say that. But he's a good back. He's kind of an odd back to me because he's kind of a combination. He's got pretty good speed, but not just blazing speed, but he's powerful. So it's kind of a good combination of strength and quickness. But I think he's also better. We've seen he's better when they bring him back to the bench and let, A.J. Green come in and let Dubinion come in. I don't know. I never played the game at the college level. I don't know what it's like to be out there as a defensive player, but it looks like to me that when you bring in a back that's just a little bit different, it throws the D linemen and the linebackers off a little bit. I just know Arkansas has had a lot of success when they brought guys off the bench and then went back to Rocket.
Yeah, I like our three running backs that we're going with, and against BYU, he did have that fumble early, and KJ did throw it to him, and they dropped it early. So let's but I did think it was our most complete game that Arkansas played. Their defense kind of bend don't break, but we're going to have to score 40, I think, to beat all these teams going out. So how going on the road against Auburn, how much do you think we have to get off to a fast start and can't have those turnovers and give them any confidence early?
Yeah, you can't have drop passes when you do throw it. Arkansas's receivers are too good to be dropping passes, and they didn't drop passes against BYU. They'd had that problem earlier. But I think Sam Pittman, a couple of weeks ago, even before the Mississippi State game, he made a commitment to throw it more. That doesn't mean you're throwing it 40 times a game, but just, mix in some pass plays with the run plays, and I think you're all right. And then the other part about the defense, there's just a little bit of a hint the last 2 weeks that everybody hates that three-man front, but you understand what Barry Odom is trying to do. He's more concerned with pass coverage, and the pass coverage has improved as you've had 8 guys back there kind of in coverage. It's just hurt Arkansas stopping the run. So now that he's getting some of these D-backs back this week, maybe he's going to be a little more free to have a couple of those guys up on the edges go ahead and blitz, because the three-man rush, all three of those guys are getting double-teamed, and if they happen to get through the double team, they got a running back there blocking. So it's been hard to get to the quarterback with that three-man rush.
Yeah, I was going to say, the sack totals are down, straight down. The quarterback pressures, you don't even need to look at the stats. You just know by watching the game. The pocket is held a lot more in the last few weeks, and so much of that is based upon, who you got in the secondary. That's why it's like the first question that I expect anybody to ask Sam Pittman in about 32 minutes is, all right, tell us about Miles Slusher and the two Johnsons if they're available. Like that's top of mind right now.
Absolutely. You need to get some depth back there, some guys that could help you that have been on the bench. And I think maybe if that happens, the big problem with the way they've done it the last 2 weekends is you got Drew Sanders back there as a traditional linebacker, and that's not his strength. He's more of a speed guy. So you kind of want him on the edge attacking, from an angle rather than just stand up, okay, I'll meet the guy right up the middle, because that's kind of a bumper pool thing. And by the way, I still think they ought to rotate more. I like Pooh Paul. Every time I see this guy come in the game, he just manhandles somebody, and he's got good quickness too. So, hopefully Bumper resting a week. He's had that bad hip, and sometimes when you are just so dedicated as a player, there are guys that wouldn't be playing right now with his injury. And when he's out there, you think, well, he's okay, but then you watch him when he's walking around on the sidelines and he's got a pronounced limp, and I'm told he's in a lot of pain. So that still probably affects him some. So maybe if he kind of this week of rest helped him a little bit, that could help Bumper Pool too. I'm still holding out hope that this defense will get a little bit better down the stretch. It may not, but I think that could make a big difference, because as Matt said, otherwise they're going to have to score the fool out of the football from here on out.
Yeah, just to give us a little confidence. We had a bye week, man. I hope we start fast. I think that's going to be important on the road. I hope we get the ball, go get it, and get on the board early. Let's don't give them any confidence to hang around. Let's give our defense a little confidence. Give them some points going on. Let our defense fly around and get ready for this 5-game stretch. Because I'm with you. I mean, we could win. These are all winnable games, but we could definitely go 1-4. You know.
Absolutely.
Mike, basketball tonight.
Yeah.
Got an exhibition. Rogers State. It should be ugly. They don't have anybody that's taller than 6'8". Arkansas's guards seem to match up with their forwards as far as the height's concerned. But that's not what it's about. This is about getting this basketball team in front of a crowd on their own home court for the first time and playing against, somebody else.
Yeah, that Friday press conference that Muss had was one of the strangest that I've seen. I don't know where to start. He starts off saying, basically, we're not going to scout these guys. That's totally not Muss, and I understand who the opponent is. But then he mentions that last year they also played a D2 school out of Oklahoma and won by 3 points. And that team ended up with a losing record on the D2 level. So you can't overlook anybody. And then he's talking about how he doesn't know who's going to start, and how some guys went to Europe and played well but then came back and slacked off. Then other guys slacked off and didn't play well in Europe but came back and worked hard. And they're still trying to figure out who's who and who's going to – it's not just who starts. He's not going to play 13 guys. So if it's 8, who are the 8? And who needs to still develop? And so this sort of starts giving you a picture of that. But then you got this game, and then suddenly it's like a 180. You go at home against a D2 school, and then you go to Austin on Saturday. Some of these, they got 6, 8 freshmen on this team. Those guys may have been studs on the high school level, but they've never been to Austin to play the Longhorns in a situation like this. So there's all kinds of questions about what's going to happen this week.
Well, I'm just excited about watching them to actually see them against an American team and guys that are around their same age. And yeah, Saturday will be very interesting. Opening up the Moody Center, and we unfortunately won't have it here on these airwaves. Mike, appreciate you on these Mondays. Thank you. Have a great week, and let's do it again next week.
Okay, see you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Mike Irwin from Pig Trail Nation. Hey, went to the I got the game on TV tonight, so go over to Joe's Grill. Well, you can't. They're closed on Mondays, so forget about that. But on Saturday, when Arkansas plays against Auburn, you can go to Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith for half-price apps and half-price taps, because that's what they do during every televised event. If the exhibition day was tomorrow, you'd be able to watch it at Joe's Grill and Cantina. They're open Tuesday through Saturday at 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith, right across from Harps. And when the Hogs are on TV, half-price apps and half-price taps during any of those events. All right, we're opening up the phone lines, 877-377-6963, and halftime coming right back.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Back out of Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Got my buddy Noel Harvey with me. Noel, when people come into the finance department, one of the things you're going to be able to talk to them about is all the warranties that Ford offers.
Absolutely. You guys, it doesn't matter how many miles a vehicle has on it. We can make sure that you can protect your investment. If you're going to spend a lot of money on it, the last thing you want to do is spend even more money on it. We've got warranties that'll carry these things out to 150,000 miles, 200,000 miles. All you got to do is give us an opportunity to show you what we can do. Here at Randall Ford, we've got the premium warranties from Ford Motor Company. We also have third-party warranties for those older cars from ASC out of Mountain Home, Arkansas. Guys, we're going to get you taken care of no matter what here at Randall Ford. 24 hours a day at randallford.com, and you know where we're located at. We're the fourth oldest Ford dealership in the continental United States. 5500 Rogers Avenue. Come see us.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
As we prepare for winter, Americans are concerned about heating their homes, gas prices, food costs, and our future. That's why I'm fighting for more American energy, better jobs, and to fix the mess in Washington. Developing our own resources means more jobs, a stronger economy, a cleaner environment, and more security. Working together, we can rebuild this great country we call America. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
You know, fall in the natural state really is the best. Football, fantastic weather, and some of the country's most beautiful scenery. At Rath Auto Resources, we love fall because prices are falling on all of our Rath Road-ready vehicles, making this the time to save on your nicer, newer car. And it's so easy. Just call, click, or come by. Let one of our friendly, non-commissioned solution specialists do all the work. It's their job to help you find just the right car, get you extra for your trade, take care of all the financing, and make sure you leave in a car of your dreams at a price and payment that fits your budget. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in our Meineke Car Care Center. Philip and his team know how to take care of your car. More importantly, they know how to take care of you with convenient, affordable total car care and savings like half off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Why wait? Start enjoying your fall now in a nicer, newer car from Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online, rathauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Won't close, cause the railing froze. Get your mind off winter time. You ain't going nowhere. Ooh, ride me high. Tomorrow's the day. A bride's gonna come. I said, whoa, no. Are we gonna fly down in the easy chair? Man, you know I don't care.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
A lot of times I would just play a soundbite for you coming out of the break, but I feel like this one needs a little bit of an introduction. Mike Leach, after his set of wide receivers had a bunch of drops against the Alabama Crimson Tide. And this is, I mean, I would say these are his thoughts on his wide receivers, but it doesn't really sound like he's talking about wide receivers. It sounds like he's going all Paleolithic on us.
And I'm genuinely fearful that on our team, if me and the other coaches don't get them right, that about a generation from now, their kids and their grandkids won't have hands, because, from a lack of use, those hands just disappear. I mean, and maybe they'll be like this, like those dinosaur hands like this are, you see? And you got like a Tyrannosaurus Rex who's clearly good at eating things, big old jaws and all that stuff, fairly athletic, can run. Well, his hands are like this. And I think we took a very, very, very big step as a team, which we have to correct this. We have to correct this because, I think that in the end that it's going to be best for all these guys that they have good hand development and that they don't evolve to where they don't have hands. Okay, but we definitely didn't use ours, and so there certainly wasn't any genetic reinforcement on our part that we should maintain our hands. I mean, and I don't want all of a sudden, guys driving across this country, and then they get to Starkville, Mississippi, and all of a sudden there's these athletic-looking, friendly guys, because we have great guys, that don't have any hands. And I hope that that's not the case. But that's where we're headed right now, and we're going to try to get that fixed in this off week.
Oh, my gosh. Did anybody mention that they lost by 24 points? And that's
defense played well. I mean, considering.
Like, the guy's got a sense of humor still after getting drubbed by 24 points. Yeah, that is a thing of beauty. There isn't a coach in the world, not a coach in the world in any sport, that would go 95 seconds on dinosaur hands and evolution and somehow still be able to bring it back to something that his team needs to work on. I mean, well done, Mike Leach.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The one of my buddies, Fred Taylor, who he was coached by Steve Spurrier, he said one of the guys messed up, like dropped a pass or didn't do something right, and he goes, "Hey man, why don't you just come over here and sit by me? It's not your fault. I'm the one that offered you the scholarship, man. You just come over and hang out with me." You're just like, dang, Fred, that was cold stuff, right? Those coaches, man, they'll get you sometimes. You got they coach in different ways.
So let me ask you this: a coach can, in so many ways, say things publicly that lets somebody know that this guy needs to improve upon something. And you want him to come to you and say,
right.
Be it in person and everything. Would you rather get dressed down, have somebody yell at you about it, or have somebody make you laugh about it, actually making fun of you a little bit? Which direction would you like?
Right. Yeah. The B, the direction B, definitely. I've never been a guy that's been the whole like we're going to MF you and just scream at you and berate you and just that type of stuff. It's more like let's have a conversation. If I do something stupid, I got it. I'm aware too. So it's just I'm trying to do good too. Like we're all in here with a common purpose. We're all trying to win. As long as people are putting forth effort. But, no, that was funny. It made me think a little bit of, like, Bill Walton. You know how he'll get on a little rant. So watching the NBA, you're like, Bill, there's a game going on, buddy. But he's in his mind, it all works out.
Well, and so in that case, of course, Walton works with Dave Pasch, I think, most of the time for college basketball. And Pasch just lets him go. Because once Walton starts going on that stuff, it's like a snowball getting larger as it rolls down the hill. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him, to borrow the old Sports Center phrasing there. With Leach, like you get it, like, and we've talked with Neil Price, the radio voice of Mississippi State Athletics, and he loves Leach. Going in and talking with him, it's just like
100%.
He's somebody that anybody can just sit and talk with. But can you imagine, like, all right, so the sports information director, like Kyle Parkinson is the SID for Arkansas football and is basically over the department at the university. You don't have to worry about Coach Pittman, like, going off on some weird tangent, and I think, like, with Dave Van Horn, sometimes, like, Dave's going to be a little too honest with some of the things, that he might get into. With Leach, it's like, where is he going with this? And you can't stop him. There's no way to interject.
Well, it's just, is he getting through to these kids? There's different ways to get through to them, and I think he does. I think the today's generation, I think they appreciate that. I think Coach Leach would be somebody that's going to probably be on. He seems like he's an honest guy. I know he might be out there and whatever, but it seems like he's going to tell you what's up. Like he and that's what you want as a player. You just want to know what's up, and let's move on. Like in Moneyball, when they're like, "How do I fire him?" He's like, "You just tell him." They don't. The players they don't want to hear a big story. Just tell me what's up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So
unless you're going to tie in the dinosaurs, then we'll listen to the story. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, get a little it's like a laugh, but at the other hand of it, it's like, what is this? What does this have to do with anything? I mean, how often do you hear the term alligator arms when it comes to a bad receiver, right? Or like Bubba broke out a term during one of these baseball games. I think this was in Omaha when a fan dropped a foul ball that was right in front of us. He called him Flipper.
Got a hole in your glove? Yeah.
Yeah. So in this case, I've never heard of the comparison with the dinosaurs. And I guess I didn't realize, unless the dinosaurs didn't have any digits whatsoever. And according to Mike Leach, I guess he's done the research on this. All right, 877-377-6963 on halftime. Take a break in a moment here. Brought to you by The Fence Man. If you own a business that needs more security, or you just want your building to look better and have more curb appeal and just be a more friendly place to walk inside, get a hold of The Fence Man, because they can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Your business will be more secure with a new fence. It's going to look prettier as well. And you can ask the Fence Man about 18-month, same as cash financing as well. 479-782-3936 to get a hold of the Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. And we wrap up hour number 1 with a reset after a quick break.
I want the dinosaur.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
At Frank Will Furniture, we want you to get this month started off right. So not only do we have no sales tax, but we are marking down every piece of furniture, bedroom furniture, mattresses, and dining sets in the store to unbelievable prices. That's right, marking all furniture down and no sales tax. In-store, no credit check financing, family owned and service after the sale. All American made sofas, love seats, sectionals, and recliners at Frank Will Furniture. Best seats in the house.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Building a home can be stressful. This is true whether you're the homeowner or the contractor. Many times these issues result in a lawsuit. If you are a homeowner or a contractor and find yourself needing legal help, call the attorneys at Kevin Hickey Law Partner. With experience representing homeowners as well as non-payment or other issues that could arise during construction. Contact Brad Hull or Kevin Hickey at 479-434-2414 in the River Valley or 479-802-6560 in Northwest Arkansas. Or check them out on the web at artriallawyers.com.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
United Hail Pros is your one-stop shop auto body repair shop, specializing in paintless dent repair. Locally owned and operated, zero out-of-pocket with free car rental from Enterprise, with a lifetime warranty. Got hail damage? Don't delay. Call United Hail Pros yesterday. 479-309-9999. 3998. That's 479-309-3998.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Outside there's a boxcar waiting. Outside the family store. Out by the fire breathing. Outside we wait till face turns blue. I know the nervous walking. I know the dirty bed hangs. Out by the boxcar waiting. Take me way to nowhere place. There is a wait so long. You never wait so long. Here comes a man.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Proper name would be for this show, Here Come Your Men. You get 3 of them here. 4 when we count Clay Henry, who comes up with us in the next segment for
Fisherman
for
Clay.
a couple hours. That's right. Fisherman Clay. That's a real man. That's for sure. We got 4 of them. All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Here's our first reset.
Reset and refresh.
Reset.
The great reset.
It's time for the Halftime Reset, giving you all the info and facts you need to make it through the rest of your day in sports.
False start. Both teams back on the get back here.
Now, here's Phil Elson with your Halftime Reset.
Arkansas goalkeeper Grace Barbara notched her 10th clean sheet of the season. This is a program record, as Arkansas soccer yesterday finished with another 0-0 draw. That's their second in a row. Same happened against LSU on Thursday. Arkansas soccer had recorded only 1 draw in the first 14 games of the season. Now they get back-to-back. So Barber had to record a couple of saves against Ole Miss. Hogs outshot Ole Miss 13-6. It was their 7th shutout in the last 8 games. Get a little of this, Matt. 16 games for Arkansas soccer. 13 of those have been a shutout, either by win or loss. I don't know how rare or how often this usually happens, but it seems like a lot of shutouts in 16 games.
Yeah, I mean 0-0, 0-0. That's common. The tie they get you because you're trying to get your points. I mean, you get to a point in the game where how creative do you want to be? How dramatic do you want to be? How do you want to go all in, or do you want to just sit back and get your point? You know, it's not like the American sports as we think of, which I mean, when you lose, you go to overtime. You're trying to you play till there's a winner, and so yeah, it's I guess hockey does a little bit of that, right? Like you can get points there.
They don't do ties anymore.
Yeah.
It goes to a shootout, but you get a point. Even if you make it to overtime, you still get
that's
at least
what it
a
is.
point.
Okay, yeah.
But hockey did away with ties. I mean, NFL football still has ties, but they're fairly rare. And, of course, we don't have that sort of thing in college football any longer. 1 regular season game left for Arkansas soccer, 10 wins, 3 losses, 3 ties. Thursday against Kentucky, 6:30 at Razorback Field, and then the SEC tournament begins next Sunday in Pensacola. NBA over the weekend. Jalen Williams made his NBA regular season debut yesterday. Oklahoma City lost to Minnesota 116-106. They dropped 2 games over the weekend. J. Will played 8 minutes yesterday, 4.6 rebounds, 2 assists. Isaiah Joe got 6 minutes for OKC in that game, scored 2 points with 3 assists. Daniel Gafford had that big debut at Indianapolis on Wednesday last week, 2 games over the weekend. He averaged 2 points and 2 rebounds in 16 averaging minutes. Wizards beat Chicago 102-100 Friday, then lost in overtime to Cleveland yesterday. Patrick Beverley and the Lakers fell to 0-3, dropped by the Blazers 106-104 yesterday. Dame Lillard 41, including the go-ahead 3 late. Beverley took 3 shots in 30 minutes and was a team best +7 for L.A. Bobby Portis and the Bucks moved to 2-0 over the weekend with a 20-point win over Houston. Portis scored 13 with 8 rebounds in 23 minutes. And Moses Moody played a total of 31 minutes over the weekend. Warriors went 1-1 with a Friday loss to Denver and a win over Sacramento yesterday, both by 5. Moses scoring 3 points in both of those games. And that is your first hour reset. Lakers, man, they look broken again. 0-3. Westbrook shooting 23% from the field in 3 games. Small sample, but that's pretty low.
Yeah, I'm a Dame Lillard fan. I see he dropped 41. He's a guy from Weber State that came in, and I want to say he went 7 or 9 overall. He was a lottery pick, undersized guy, but man, he got better. He gets better each year. You talk about point guards who you want. When I look at point guards, what I would want to lead my team, Damian Lillard is definitely one of those. Westbrook, I mean, you can't deny his talent and his greatness. He's not been a natural shooter, so he has to do other things like a Rajon Rondo. I love Rajon Rondo's game. He wasn't a natural. He might shoot it better than Russell Westbrook does, but Dame Lillard is that guy that can score, and you like your point guard to be a little bit of a facilitator, and you like him to be cerebral, and you like him to know his limitations. And with Westbrook, you're like, dude, quit shooting the ball so much, bro. Yeah. You like dude, find other ways. Like Patrick Beverley's a great example of that. He doesn't shoot the ball a lot, but he finds ways to be
an effect.
Right.
A really good effect too. I saw an effect that Westbrook had on LeBron yesterday. He took a 3, I think, as he brought the ball down the floor within the last 30 seconds, fired a 3. It was a brick, and the moment that left his hands, LeBron put his hands out. It was like a WTF moment. What are you doing, dude?
Like when he did the J.R. Smith one where he's like,
That's
bro.
Right. Yeah, please, no. Even the announcers, even the Lakers announcers were shouting, no, what are you doing? Well, what we're doing is we're bringing Clay Henry into the show and getting into the second hour. So stay with us on halftime.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Hey, this is Butch at Whitspring, your authorized Mercury dealer. Now is a great time to upgrade to a new Mercury outboard with the most advanced 4-stroke on the market. And who doesn't like V8 power? All the way from the 200 Pro XS to the 300 Pro XS, plus great lower horsepower. But it's also a great time to get your Mercury or Merc Cruiser ready for winter with oil changes and your yearly service, plus treatment for your electric fuel pumps. And let's not forget about draining those Merc Cruiser blocks. That's Whitspring, 823 North 11, Fort Smith.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
ESPN Arkansas weather. For today, we're stuck with the clouds. We'll see occasional showers and thunderstorms today. Our high this afternoon will be in the low 70s north, upper 70s south. Occasional showers and storms with some heavy pockets of rain tonight. Overnight lows in the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Brought to you by Weichert Realtors, the Griffin Company. You can listen to it at hitthatline.com or wherever you hear your favorite podcasts.
Good station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is Halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, Drew!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
And halftime is back here for the top of the hour. Right as you move into lunch, well, kind of hesitate a little just calling 12 noon lunchtime. Anytime you eat between 11 and 2 is fine by us. 877-377-6963 for your calls and texts as we get you ready for Arkansas-Auburn Saturday morning. And Arkansas and Rogers State coming up in 7 hours on this very radio station as well. Clay Henry's with us a little bit earlier than usual this week. Unavailable tomorrow and holding down the fly shop today up by the North Fork River. Clay, how's it going?
He's tying flies right now.
He must be tying flies at the very moment. I don't think I can hear him in one segment, but I don't know if he can hear me. But I know we'll have Clay on momentarily. So let's see. 7 o'clock tip-off, 6:30 courtside show. You remember the exhibition last year against East Central, another Division II school?
I did not. How'd it go?
77-74. Arkansas won that game.
Whoa, okay. So he's going to play everybody.
It was nip and tuck.
There he is. We missed you for a moment.
I couldn't hear you. I could hear Matt. And something I had to jiggle something.
Well, whatever you jiggled was
it
jiggled properly.
Yep.
Well done.
This thing, this system that Tommy's given me is, well, it used to be yours, wasn't it, Phil?
Yeah.
I think it's ancient.
Well, it's one of the older. I think it's one of the older boxes we have, but it's usually worked well. But you got it set up now. It's all good.
We're good. I'm at the fly shop today, so you never know what's going to happen.
You never do. Once we hear,
I might have to sell some waiters in a little bit.
Once we hear the little ring-a-ding-ding in the background there, we know that we'll have to move the conversation on to somebody else.
I have a note on my desk. It says, "I'm on the radio show. We'll be in a break shortly." Well, that could be any time, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about having the we're open sign up there at the front. You could turn that thing off or just sort of flip it while you're doing radio. But
I've done that before. Yeah.
Does the owner know? Hopefully she does not. Well, I mean, more than anything, you're just excited about getting this team on the floor at Bud Walton Arena, but and playing against somebody else, right? But it's so amazing. Mike Irwin mentioned this in the last hour. Like, you're playing a Division II school that Arkansas really shouldn't have any trouble against, whether or not I think empties out the bench or whatever. This is just an incredibly talented team, much more so than any Division II team in the country. And they have the size, man. I mean, that's the tallest player for Rogers State is 6'8", and the Hogs have guards, a couple of them that are at that size. So I don't think it's going to go well for Rogers. And then you play Texas, a top 10 team on Saturday, as they open up a brand new building. things couldn't be any different between Monday and Saturday as far as the venue and as far as the opponent that you're playing.
I think it will be a incredibly difficult test for this young team.
Now, Rick Barnes was at Texas. He's at Tennessee still. Who's is Shaka Smart?
Chris Beard was at Texas
Beard
Tech.
took over.
Yeah.
He's okay. So he's more
loaded.
defensive. Yeah, I like him.
He has got
That'd be a good
really
test.
good guards. They're not big, but they are tough, physical. It'll be a incredible environment. It's the first game. I mean, it's an exhibition.
It's a real game, or does it go on our record?
No, it doesn't go on the record.
Okay.
And I think that I know this because Eric said it. He would like to have a really good test for these guys before they go to Maui.
Well, last year they had the exhibition against ECU and then North Texas, both games at home. This is a different thing. For one thing, it's like you have to feel honored that Texas wanted to play Arkansas to open up this building. I mean, this is their choice. They invited the Razorbacks to come play in this game and open up the brand-new Moody Center, which replaces the Irwin Center, which was, pretty badly outdated. And across the street they build this brand-new building. And, I mean, look, you don't want to compliment the University of Texas very much, if at all, but they had the choice as to who they wanted to play and open this building. So, I mean, they obviously understand that there's still an Arkansas-Texas thing, and there's going to be soon again. UT league.
Does it matter?
I call that place the Super Drum because that's what it looked like.
It looked like.
Arkansas had some great victories there. I mean, of course, you go look at the series record. Arkansas has kicked Texas' butt in basketball. It's not even close. But this is a different animal. I mean, Beard's a good coach.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to ask you, Clay. Looking back, I'm trying to think about some of the old because I guess you had Todd Day, Lee Mayberry, Oliver Miller. Was that the last group that was in that SWC that they really played them regularly? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And, the games that have been played since then have been, kind of odd ducks. But, the one everybody always talks about is Arkansas won in overtime against Penders. And Nolan walked off the court at the end of regulation. And then Arkansas hit a shot, and I believe it was Mayberry hit a shot to tie it at the buzzer.
What fired him up?
He came back out.
Why'd he leave, though?
Coached to overtime.
Yeah, why'd he leave? What happened?
Oh, it was over an officiating call.
Yeah, the official was being stupid.
Not one, but several, and it didn't look good, and I think he was trying to fight. But he didn't get a technical. He walked across the court. They did not give him a technical because they knew, and of course, Penders afterwards is like, he should have got a technical, which would have probably ended the game. I mean, that would have made it, the free throws and the possession. But it was an incredible victory for Arkansas. Strolling with Nolan, that's what they called that one.
That's what BE just texted in, right. And I remember Matt Zimmerman was a student manager on that team, if I remember correctly. He's told the story on this show before, and he followed Coach into the locker room and tried to get him to come back out and everything. And, man, those are things that just couldn't happen now. If a coach walked on the court to walk into the locker room, he would just get a double T right then and there, and that would be the end of it. And I guess things were a little bit different then.
But he just
for Nolan,
kind of strolled off. I mean, it wasn't, there was no animation to, he put his head down and walked off. The officials were like, well, he's going to the locker room. We'll let him go. And of course the Texas people were just, of course they lost the game. And it really was not, once they got to overtime, Arkansas took control. And it was just a matter of getting it to overtime. And of course, Nolan played it to the hilt afterwards. It's like, I just had seen enough.
Clay, is Oliver Miller probably the best big guy? I'm trying to think. Yeah, Joe Klein. I'm trying to think some of the Arkansas big guys that have been just studs. Is Oliver Miller
that were different?
Yeah.
I mean, Corliss was the best, but he wasn't.
I don't.
Okay,
I put Corliss as a 4, and I'm talking true centers is what the question. Yeah, I know, but I'm saying the true 7-footers. Like Oliver Miller was talented as anybody, was he not? I mean, he played on that Phoenix Suns team that lost to the Bulls in the finals. Was at 94, I believe. Like he was a stud.
I mean, his hands were massive. I mean, his ability to take a rebound and throw it the length of the court on a dime. And I mean, you know, he'd spot Todd Day or Lee, and I mean, it would be a bullet. I mean, he had assists that were 70-foot long passes, a lot. Or he would, you know, somebody make a basket, and he'd grab it, he'd come through the basket, he'd step out, and he'd chunk it, you know, an inbounds pass on a rope for a layup. I mean, and that's devastating, as you know, Matt. I mean, that, you know, you just scored, but they scored in 2 seconds.
And you know, that's how I see it now. Maybe not that just style right there, but Phil and Clay, that's how I see this Razorback basketball team being this year, where they're not going to rely on the three, but they're going to score in seconds, getting tips and getting in the passing lanes in the perimeter. Yes, sir.
That's the thing that I think we'll be able to watch a lot tonight against Rogers State. I mean, I don't know much about Rogers State. I haven't looked at their numbers or anything like that. I can imagine they're going to have trouble shooting or anywhere around the perimeter against this team. And this is the thing that I think will separate Arkansas from just about everybody else. The athleticism and the length play for each other so perfectly on both ends of the court, especially if you can get a deflected pass around the perimeter or a deflected shot, and if it falls into the right hands or the right person, all of a sudden, boom, 4 seconds later, 3 seconds later, you're at the other rim and you got yourself the easiest two of the game. And then you do it again. Like, there's going to be a lot of easy twos, I think, for this team. I think we'll see a lot of that tonight. Yes,
not layups.
Exciting dunks.
They've got everybody on their roster just about can dunk in transition. And I'm talking about tomahawks, the whole thing. Rebound follows. So I think Trevon Brazil's got a little bit of Dan Gafford in him. He's probably a better shooter than Gafford. He can shoot threes, but he is so quick and can get to the rim and is slithery. The ball come off the rim, and it will be dunked instantly, you know, those flushes. And they've got a lot of guys that can do that.
I'm interested to see that because I thought one of the weaknesses, and now we made an Elite Eight team, so we're being picky back-to-back years, but was kind of that rebounding. I think we kind of struggled inside. Teams could kind of take advantage of us when they could get the ball inside on us and score easier, it seemed like. I thought that was kind of one of the things we struggled with. So hopefully this year that size, it gives us rebounds, don't give up the second chance points, and we can play a little better down-low defense.
So there's a hog pod that Bo Manley put out today that's 45 minutes with Eric Musselman, and I listened to that and wrote a piece that probably will be at Hogs Plus sometime today after watching a practice. And what I saw was an incredible ability to block shots. And Eric says, last year they led the nation in taking charges. Well, that's Jalen Williams. He's also your best shot blocker. And if he's taking a charge, he cannot block a shot. They will not have that this year. They may lead the country in block shots, according to Eric Musselman, that's going to be their strength.
Now, Matt, I heard you on today's edition of the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast, and you told him, now I think that with this basketball team, they're going to be competing against each other for prettiest dunk. Certainly today, I think that'll be the case. I wonder how often against the SEC if you're just going to have dunk after dunk. But it's going to be like a competition between these guys because I think there's about a handful of them that can, if not more, that can play above the rim and get creative in some of these situations. But I heard you, Matt, tell everybody on Gimme the Hogs Chalk this morning that you could still – you didn't say throw one down. You said you could get one off your fingertips to go down.
If I walked out there today, if we walked out there on the hoop court and we loosened up a little bit, yeah, I could finger one down. And then if I was like, all right, you want to see me dunk one, and you said, all right, give me 2 weeks to kind of go just like work out a little bit. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I'm a little bit. I mean, you're 6'6", so we kind of had a little bit advantage there. But yeah, you don't want us on a 9-foot goal playing 21 right now, though. Yeah.
No, that would not go over very well. I mean, here's me. Sooner or later, you and I'll go one-on-one, and I'm like 5'9". It won't go over very well.
No, that was cool to do with Chuck. And speaking of that, it's like those. You remember those old Bob Huggins, Clay? Those Bob Huggins Cincinnati Bearcat teams that would really get after you. That's kind of what I see a little bit. Like they didn't shoot the three a lot. What they did is play this matchup zone, really get after you, and man, it's kind of a man match zone. and they would just get after you. I'd see us being a hustle team like that.
You know, the thing I remember, Nolan's the national championship team, I believe, played them in Maui, and it got into a half court game, and Nolan just played straight up man-to-man defense the whole second half,
right.
Just kind of a nutshell defense, and they won. And really, nobody had thought that they could do that. No trapping, just straight up, and it was a physical grinder, both teams. And you don't, Corey Beck, Clint McDaniel, they didn't turn anybody loose. No, I mean, it was just
they lock you up. Yep.
Oh man.
Yep.
Hey, guys, we got a couple of callers on hold. I want to get to these callers, and then we'll have the break. We got Mongo in Huntsville. Hi, Mongo. What's going on?
What's going on, fellas? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right, good deal. Well, I enjoyed listening to you about the old days with Nolan. That isn't what I was calling about. If I remember right, in that game where he walked off, didn't Travis Mays miss a free throw, which kind of let us tie it to go to overtime? Seems like their best player missed a free throw.
Yeah, they got some breaks in that game. Yeah.
But anyway, I was just calling to tell Matt I was glad he was on. He's one of my favorite players, football players, probably you and Joe Adams.
Joe, yes, sir. Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah.
And I remember so many plays. I wasn't the biggest Houston Nut fan. I mean, I know he was a good coach. I wasn't too crazy about his play calling. I felt like our best plays were the ones that you just drew up yourself. I wish he designed some bootlegs and more quarterback draws and all that. But the play I remember most, though, now don't get mad at me, was the fumble against Texas, and you remember that.
But I remember that one most too. That's right.
I forgot that one. Thanks for bringing it up.
But what amazed me was, I don't remember the guy's name, but the best player was a linebacker All-American, and
Derek Johnson.
Play, you he
played at Kansas City, yeah.
Stiff hard him to the ground, if I remember right. And the other guy got your other arm with the ball, but I couldn't.
We were running the tight end. It was a tight end fall down play, and it was supposed to come back around. Yeah, I mean, I actually had the ball tucked in. He just made a good play. Yeah.
I was just amazed that you stiff armed that dude to the ground.
Man, he was a stud, man. He played a decade for Kansas City, I believe. Yeah, man. Derek Johnson was the linebacker, DN. You're right. He was an All-American guy. He was a stud.
Right, man. You made so many great plays. It's just awesome to watch you. But anyway, glad to have you. Enjoy the show, guys.
Thanks for listening.
Mongo, appreciate the phone call. Yeah, thanks a lot. 877-377-6963 if you want to join us here on Halftime. And Mr. Cabbagehead is up next. Mr. Cabbagehead, how are you?
Hey, guys. Good show today. Appreciate I called last week and talked to Matt, and I'm glad he's in the fold. I tell you, one thing I enjoy about that team with Corliss and Miller, but you guys got to admit, them guys, they flat took up room under that goal. They demanded the real estate, That's what they had going. Of course, a good manager like our coach, he managed them right too. But it seemed like those schools that had people like those two always did well because you couldn't get around them, man. If they blocked out underneath, there was a lot of real estate to get around with those two. They were so big and huge. And I watched the tall boy that played for the Razorbacks last year, and they just pushed him around like a feather, But that was what was good about that when Corliss and Miller. When y'all were talking about them a while ago, I just enjoyed watching them guys take up the real estate, and you had to respect them, and you sure couldn't get underneath the goal when they set up to get the rebound. And we need more of that, don't we?
Mr.
This
Cabbage,
team has more of that.
Appreciate the call. Yeah, and I think one of the areas where this team will be really better rebounding are your guards. You have taller guards who are incredibly athletic, and I know that the point that Mr. Cabbagehead here is making is the size and your ability to take up space. But I feel like this set of guards, I mean, Nick Smith, 6'5". Ricky Council, the fourth, 6'6". Anthony Black, 6'7". Walsh is a swingman, 6'7". And it's not that they're the biggest in the world, but they are taller than a lot of the guards, if not most of the guards they'll be playing against. That's who they'll be blocking out. I think your guards will be really solid rebounding, and really where this pays off in so many areas, Matt, is offensive rebounding. Probably be a really good offensive rebounding team too.
That's right, especially when you can't shoot the ball well, as Coach says. You better get some rebounds. But to answer his question or his point, the thing that's it's different between the two teams is we had older guys. You had guys that stayed in college for 3 years that were, they had redshirt or they'd played 2, 3, 4 years, and now they're one and done. So you're talking about a high school kid. He needs 2 more years on him, but his potential. The NBA draft now is so much on potential and so much money. But yeah, that's the answer is that they're just so young. They're still high school kids.
877-377-6963 if you want to join us. We'll break here in a moment. And, hey, we're talking basketball. Anthony Black is going to be at Alma Tractor tomorrow from 3:30 until 5 p.m. That's right. Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma invites you to meet Anthony Black. So whether you're there to check out the entire line of bad boy tractors and mowers, now's the time to buy with great financing rates. It's tomorrow, 3:30 until 5. Anthony Black is at Alma Tractor and Equipment, Highway 64 and 71 in Alma. A break on halftime and coming right back.
What you want, honey, you got it. And what you need, baby, you got it. All I'm asking for a little respect when I come home.
Guys, I want to get into the podcast game. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, the Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast. Stealing it from Ruskin and Zach, who blatantly stole it from Gino Bell. Gimme the Hogs Chuck podcast. It's brought to you by Weichert Realtors and Griffin Company. We're going to do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's going to be available at hitthatline.com. It's basically going to be my take on what's happening in the world of sports.
Give me the Hogs, Chuck!
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal and online at harryrobinson.com.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
The Party Place is in their new location at 1415 South Zero. 50% off Halloween decor. Hurry in while supplies last. The largest party supply store in Arkansas. Costumes starting at $9.99. Large animatronics, masks, wigs, fog machines, lights, and more. 10% off for veterans, teachers, and first responders. Now in their new location, 1415 South Zero by Atwoods.
Tommy Kraft here for The Fence Man. Do you own a business that needs more security? Or maybe you just want a better look and more curb appeal? A new fence from The Fence Man can give you both. In business for more than 40 years, The Fence Man can custom install any type of fencing, gates, and controlled access for your business. Call The Fence Man and ask about 18 months same as cash financing with approved credit. 479-782-3936. That's 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
Stop in and see us at Randall
Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. You talk about vehicles. We have them in stock, and we have them priced right. We've got aggressive with the market. We know that the market's going back down just a little bit. So we've matched that market and lowered the prices on our vehicles. If you're looking for a GMC Sierra SLT, how about a Chevrolet Tahoe? Maybe you're looking for an XLT Expedition. How about a Ford Fusion, a titanium model? If you're looking for Malibus, we have those. Fusions, GTs, Mustang GTs. We have a little bit of something for everyone, and they're priced right. Sales manager here at Randall has got aggressive with the pricing, and Jeremy has lowered it. So we're still giving you more for your trade-in. We've lowered the prices on our cars, so come by and see us. Check with one of the sales professionals today. I guarantee you they'll take care of you the right way. Family owned and operated. 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Come see us at Randall Ford.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I keep hearing you're concerned about my happiness, but all that thought you're giving me is conscience, I guess. If I were walking in your shoes, I wouldn't worry none. Are you and your friends are worried about me? I'm having lots of fun, counting flowers on the wall. That don't bother me at all. Playing solitaire till dawn with the deck of 51. Smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. Now don't tell me I've nothing to do.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, Sam Pittman, I think, is finished with his press conference. First time we've heard from the Arkansas head football coach since Wednesday's teleconference last Wednesday morning. Of course, there were no other media availabilities throughout the week, but you're back to the usual schedule this week. Coach Pittman talks today, right? We're just finished. We get a couple players, 4 players tomorrow. Sam Pittman live Wednesday, and then all things quiet until Saturday. So let's see here. Looks like we're getting back. Miles Slusher, Malik Chavis, Slusher getting a look today. Chavis on Tuesday getting Tykees Crawford and Jaden Johnson back. So there's some good news for you. It looks like the secondary is getting a little bit healthier. And Crawford, too. And I know that he'd played a little bit near the end of the Mississippi State game, but wasn't available against BYU. Bumper Pool healed up during the bye week. Sam Pittman also said Drew Sanders healed up during the bye week. I didn't know what the situation was with him, or if it was a normal, bumps and bruises from playing football, or if there was something happening. And Jaden Hazelwood has a nagging shoulder injury that he's been dealing with all season, and will be there for the rest of the season too. So some notes there on Arkansas health for some important players. I mean, that's the thing, guys, that really going into the bye week. How often, during that 3-game losing streak, did you hear Sam Pittman say, we just need to get healthier? And it sounds like this last week they've gotten a little bit healthier.
When you watched them play on defense, you knew they were beat up. I mean, it just Bumper and Drew. And linebackers, that's just the way it is. In safeties, linebackers, your shoulders are just kaput, midway through the season.
Well, they want to be out there, and that's what you want. I mean, I've said this team would be a fun team to be a part of. I'd love to be a part of this. I mean, they all like each other. They all have each other's back. It seems like they play for each other, even when it's getting a little tough. You haven't heard anybody blaming the other person. They've all been accountable for it. They handle themselves well, but that defense, they fly around, man. They have effort, and that's the one thing you can't. I mean, we might not be the best, and we might have injuries, but they haven't quit. They are still, and I think that BYU game was probably the best, most complete game they played. And hopefully we can play all 4 quarters, man. We just had a bye week. Auburn's struggling. Why not? Why not get out there and don't turn the ball over, get a couple turnovers, and finally play a complete game.
All right, we got Charlie on hold here. Let's take the call. And we did not hear from him late last week because Charlie celebrated a birthday, and apparently he doesn't listen to the radio or make phone calls when he's got a birthday to celebrate. So, happy week after birthday week, Charlie, and back to the grind as a regular caller on halftime. What's up?
Back to normal. You know, that ditch didn't kill me, Phil. I got out of there okay.
Well, because you warned us that you wouldn't be calling, I wasn't nervous. I knew the situation. Next time you don't call for 2 or 3 days, let us know ahead of time so we don't send out the AP.
I got to give you guys I got to let you guys know. Well, Matt, you took the words. You're so great, man. You took the word. I was going to respond to old Mr. Cabbage's call there. You took the words right out of my mouth. You go, well, that team was a whole lot older than this team, and they had older guys, and that's exactly what I was going to say. I mean, I was thinking the exact same thing you were.
Well, they
I mean, that's like
it's
you know, and you're right.
I was going to say it's weird how the guys this year or the last year, what you see now that's different is these one and done, and it is based on potential a lot, but now it's even way more based on potential with the G League and not even you don't even ask players. There's only about 2 or 3 players in a draft that you ask to come in and be stars as rookies. It's becoming more and more like baseball. I think they draft these guys for their rights because they think, you know what, in 4 years this dude's going to be a stud, and obviously he is a stud. He's just a baby.
And that's what I was thinking a while back. I actually made that comment on here. Drew and Bill were talking about baseball, and you know, they look at you nowadays, basketball. Well, they're looking at you when they draft you, you know, 2 or 3, 4 years down the line. You know, not necessarily what you're going. Because there's a couple guys that come to my mind that really didn't break out until they got older. John Wall was one of them. Now he's been hurt the last few years, but you know, he didn't really get going.
Bradley Beal kind of started off slow. He's a stud, yeah.
Devin Booker, even at times, you know, they're early on. You know, and then Steph with the injuries, I ain't going to put that all on him. But, you know, he came around, you know, and that's what you see. And that's the thing with this team, though. I don't, you know, with size, I'll say this. We got plenty of those guys. It's just figuring out, you know, who's going to get those minutes. And, you know, at times, you know, I think Muss is even going to have the ability to go small. I mean, you think about it. This is a team that could, you know, probably switch 1 through 5 if you got the right lineup on the floor. So that's something that, you know, I think is a luxury. You know, and it's you know, Matt, did you watch a Kentucky game last year when we played them?
I watched some of it, yeah.
Well, Seaway went for about, I don't know what he scored, 30 and 15. But one thing about Muss is he's so game plan oriented. He lived with that, and a lot of people were upset. Well, why did we let that guy go for 30 and 15? Well, they also only made like 2 or 3 3-pointers the whole game. So, you know, the thing with him is, like, people have to understand, like, he's going to make a game plan. He's going to live with some people, you know, like Seaway, who was dominant, do what he did. You know, Jalen did as good a job as he could on him. But, you know, he made some plays. You know, he's a great player. So that's the thing. If these guys can buy in to the game, and it's going to be hard because I think Muss is probably – his hair might be gray at the end of this year. But, you know, towards the end of it, I think he's going to – you know, towards the end, we're going to get better. I believe that. And, Matt, I know you're real knowledgeable about the game. I was going to ask you, when you was at Arkansas, how much, you know, freedom did Houston give you at the line of scrimmage, or did he wait until you turned into a junior or senior? And then let me ask you this. Did he do a lot of screaming at you on the sideline? Because he came down here to Camden, man. I'll tell you what, there may not be – he's probably one of the best motivational speakers I've ever heard in my life.
100%.
And I wanted to ask you, like, how was it before every game? Just, I mean, like, did you really just – he's one of those guys – did you really just want to run through a wall for him because he was that good at that, just that part of the, you know, preparing y'all for the game? Anyways, guys, I'll hang up and listen. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the call, Charlie.
Yeah, Coach is the man. He's the man. I forget all the questions. But as far as motivation, I tell you a story. We're freshmen. We get in there and we haven't even seen the playbook yet. But it's the kind of the first real meeting. You hear about guys, you know, 5-star, 4-star. Hey, in social media, it's like, oh, there's Jeb Huckabee, there's Tavares Jackson, there's Pierre Brown, there's so and so. You know, you're like, oh, he's from. You just didn't know where everything was, but you're kind of your first time you get together. And you're with everybody, and he gets in going. And we walked out of the locker room like, let's go play. I haven't even seen a playbook yet, but let's go to battle already. Yeah, no, he had that knack about him. He's definitely special. There should be a statue up there of Coach Nutt. That's for sure.
Let's step aside. Right up against the break here. Calls and texts coming in at 877-377-6963, and we'll get to more about exactly what Matt is talking about here and some other stuff. Why Arkansas should beat Auburn. What are your reasons? We'll get to that next.
She says love me just for me. Oh, she loves me so tenderly. I got a woman way over town that's good to me.
Cooler weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics. Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Summer is here. Art's Barbecue and Burgers has everything you need for your next picnic, trip to the lake, and outdoor fun this summer. Smoked ham and turkey are perfect for sandwiches at your picnic. Take Art's brisket, ribs, and pulled pork to your next lake trip. And every Saturday at Art's, every thick and juicy burger is $1 off. Art's Barbecue and Burgers, the best barbecue and burgers in town. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith, or call ahead at 452-2550 at Art's Barbecue and Burgers.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition of work. Real work. Working for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
State sales tax paid on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot, now through the end of the month at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. You heard right. State sales tax paid on pre-owned vehicles at Harry Robinson. You'll save hundreds, even thousands, with sales tax paid. This sale does not apply to previously negotiated deals. Don't miss your chance to get your state sales tax paid now through the end of the month on every pre-owned vehicle on the lot. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 at Fort Smith.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience, specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
ESPN Arkansas is headed behind enemy lines in Auburn, Alabama. Our coverage is presented by Ag Up Equipment. Layden and his team have 16 locations in Arkansas and Mississippi. You can visit us at agup.com, an official John Deere dealer, and First Community Bank, where community comes first. Founded and headquartered in Batesville, Arkansas, First Community Bank now has 32 locations across Arkansas and southern Missouri to serve you. Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, the line for Arkansas-Auburn remains Hogs favored by 4.5 for the time being. It's been rising steadily since the line came out Sunday morning. Money line right now, you'd have to put 190 down on the Razorbacks to win 100 at Bet Saracen. So money keeps going over towards the Hogs, and I think that's going to be the case all week. I think that line's going to grow. Maybe not by another full point, but I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, an Arkansas team on the road at Auburn, maybe a 5-point favorite, but there's reasons why. This is just a bad Auburn team right now. And there's a lot of things I think Arkansas can do to take advantage of. Auburn has the fewest turnover or takeaways in the SEC. They have the worst turnover margin in the country. They've turned the ball over 16 times already, 8 turnovers in the last 3 games. And this isn't a matter of just interceptions. They fumbled it away 6 times. So that's a big problem. They're minus 11 in 7 games in turnovers. And we saw Arkansas, get back to at least getting a turnover or 2 against BYU. So you're going to have an opportunity, I think, to strip the ball away from Auburn on Saturday. They don't throw the ball at all with any success. Bottom 30 in the nation at 207 passing yards per game. And the 7th worst completion percentage in the country, 52%. They don't convert third down, least amount of first downs in the SEC. They haven't been able to stop teams in the red zone. One thing they do, and I wonder if this is something that makes you guys nervous about Saturday against Auburn, they can still run the ball, and they still have a really good running back, someone that's, I think, going to be successful at the next level in Tank Bigsby. And Robbie Ashford also can run the football. This is a guy who's never really played quarterback much. He was a baseball player more than anything at Oregon, but he can run. And Arkansas, opponents have run against them a little bit this year too.
Yeah, they've got 2 running backs actually. The guy they bring in off the bench is no slouch. So they've got depth there. They cannot pass protect. They cannot stop the run. That's the whole deal. That's where Arkansas's got to make hay. And they've got to pressure the quarterback and do the things that they did early, which is strip sacks, that kind of thing, and it is deadly. And so they've got, and this could be a big game for Drew Sanders if he's healthy and his wheels are right. I think Jordan Dominic could have a big game. They've got some weapons, Arkansas does, for this kind of an offensive line. And I'm an offensive line freak, and that's where Arkansas has an advantage in this game.
Yeah, you think on both sides of the ball too, as far as our D line.
Arkansas's offensive line against
and then our D line versus their offensive line as well.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think
that's
football, Matt.
That is, and that being said, Clay, what do you think that? Well, I wonder what our percentage of and when what the papers, the numbers say when he likes to blitz. I just don't see us that still. I don't think we're going to blitz a lot. So we got to put pressure. Just add in one or just with our front 4. I think this week.
Yeah, well, I think that what you do with Drew Sanders, and they do send him and they walk him up to the edge and then they twist. And I think, his sacks total has kind of stayed the same. He's, 5.5, 6.5. He's right at the top nationally. And that's why he's on all these midseason All-American teams, but there haven't been as many lately.
He's fun to watch. I like watching both of them, Bumper Pool and Andrew Sanders, play, but they will mix him in there, and that's, I guess is he our best our best guy that's our every down guy that can rush the passer?
No question. Yeah, he's playing Mike linebacker, but they will put him up in that A gap, and then they'll put him down, in a 3-man front, and he'll be a fourth lineman, and put him on the edge, which is where he played last year at Alabama. He played inside linebacker in high school, so this is not foreign to him. But he's a guy nobody's got an answer for, and he will be drafted high. He could be first or second round, and he's got to play good the second half. And I think he is nicked up. Phil, you asked about it. I'm not sure what it is, but
that's one thing
shoulders,
I want to
knees,
find out.
whatever.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah. They all got something right now. Heck, I've got a minor injury. I have trouble getting into the press box right now.
Well, Ty, here's
I'm
one
joking. I'm joking.
Clay, you got to be careful though. Working at the fly shop, you don't want to prick your finger too hard, and then you can't tie flies properly. These are very important, tips of your fingers to keep the job. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yeah, there are little things about this job that will get you. What did Baker Mayfield say about Dixon Street? It'll get you. There's things in the fly shop that'll get you.
Yeah, very pointy tips on the hooks will get
you
too.
Yeah.
It's the first time anyone's ever drawn a comparison between Dixon Street, Baker Mayfield, and fishing, but it is well done. That's one of the reasons we love to have Clay on the show here.
Okay.
All right, we're going to step aside for a break. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with a reset in a moment. Do you like to play fantasy sports? We'll get to No House Advantage. They're changing the game. This is the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available. You go to nohouseadvantage.com and use the promo code HTL, and you're going to end up having a great time here. You can climb the leaderboard, earning points for correct picks. So player props and choosing a contest, and you climb that leaderboard for a shot to win big money every day. Test your skills against the house. Multiply your entry by 20 times if you hit all your picks. 5-player prop over-unders, individual player matchups are available across every major league sport. Football, basketball, baseball, golf, anything. Again, you go to nohouseadvantage.com, use the promo code HTL, or download the app. You get a first deposit match up to $25. No House Advantage. Don't miss out on this. Well, first, don't miss out on our reset after the break.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
If you're particular about your lawn, when nothing else matters except those perfectly cut stripes, that is your defining moment when you know you want a Skag zero-turn mower. Simply the best, hands down. When no other mower will cut it, stop by Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma and pick out your new Skag zero-turn mower and be the envy of your neighborhood. Come by today to see the full lineup of Skag zero-turn mowers at Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush Beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Light beer.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Hardee's new Charbroiled Double Deals, starting at $2.99 each, have the Academy for New Offerings hailing this double cheeseburger deal as very new indeed. How much more new does it get than the new Bacon Double Cheeseburger and the new California Classic Double Cheeseburger? Not much newer than that. Well, I've got news for the Academy. After this, I'm getting myself a double cheeseburger from this new deal. The new Charbroiled Double Deal, starting at $2.99 each at Hardee's. Feed your happy. Tax not included for a limited time. Price and participation may vary. Visit restaurant or app for details.
Deer hunters, rifle season is almost here, and Jelco Outdoors just received another large shipment of box blinds by Lazy Man, Hawk, and Earth Blind. All blinds are assembled with 6 and 10-foot tower option. Hunt in comfort this year. Check out the large selection of box blinds at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith. Remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source LLC makes customers smile, one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street, across from Play It Again Sports, or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC. No problem.
Ride without compromise. CF Moto's brand new U-Force 1000 XL with 2 3-person bench seats to haul more rear ends as you haul butt. Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma has the perfect CF Moto for any road you choose. Get some serious mud on the tires with aluminum rims, custom paint, power steering, and a 3,000-pound winch. No wonder the CF Moto is Auto Finders' best-kept dirty little secret. Ride without compromise at Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma in Roland. Visit a complete list of inventories online at autofindersok.com. Your search ends here.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sunlight hurts my eyes, and something without warning, love.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
And I know it's gonna be.
The sun's broken out. It is a beautiful day as of right now, and we appreciate you listening along on Halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Wrapping up our second hour right now with another reset.
Freeze frame!
Reset and refresh.
Reset. The Great Reset.
It's time for the Halftime Reset, giving you all the info and facts you need to make it through the rest of your day in sports.
False start. Both teams back on the get back here.
Now, here's Phil Elson with your Halftime Reset.
We'll look and see how former Razorbacks did in the NFL. Yesterday, Cody Hollister caught a couple of balls for the Tennessee Titans. 32 yards, included a 27-yard first down in the Titans' 19-10 win over the Colts. Gives Hollister 3 catches on the year and 10 for his career. Great story, of course, undrafted in 2017. Practice squad on the Pats 2018, and now his 4th year active for the Titans, who will, by the way, still have Traylon Burks on IR for at least another couple of games. Cameron Curl, 5 solo tackles, 8 total tackles, helping Washington to beat Green Bay at FedEx yesterday, 23-21. John Ridgeway also recorded a tackle for the Commanders, who at 3-4 have the same record as Green Bay. Dre Greenlaw did have to leave yesterday's game against the Chiefs early with a calf injury in the third quarter, and was not able to come back. There's no update currently on Greenlaw's injury. San Francisco was dropped by the Chiefs 44-23. Monday Night Football tonight. We've got former Razorbacks on both teams, 7:15 on ESPN. Armin Watts for the Bears, of course, and a couple of former Razorbacks on the Pats that have been playing well of late. Hunter Henry's last couple of games, he's caught 12 balls for 115 yards and a touchdown. And Dietrich Wise, 4 sacks on the year, including a couple of forced fumbles. And that is your reset for the time being.
What's up with the Packers this year? When you're talking, talking about the a little bit of the NFL, the Redskins getting the Packers. Wasn't the Packers kind of a sexy pick this year to win the NFC or not really?
I mean, they always
got Aaron
are
Rodgers
just because of who's there at quarterback. Rodgers, I said, this isn't. This is actually a good thing. He's trying to spin this as a good thing for the team that's
bullcrap.
Lost 3 games in a row and hasn't been able to
the teams they lost
points.
to too. It's not like they're getting beat by quarterback.
This was the teams that their tough part's coming.
Right.
I mean, obviously, they're going to Buffalo this week.
And then your boy Christian McCaffrey. I know we talked about that trade on Thursday or Friday. So he was only there for 48 hours. That just tells you how good he is, how smart he is, and just the type of player he is. The success he had already with San Francisco, man. Short term, it's probably a good move for San Francisco. It's just you're rolling the dice, giving up 4 draft picks for a running back, and it's just part of the nature of the beast.
Well, it's interesting to get a look here at these 2 teams. You get the Chiefs. They lose Tyreek Hill, and they haven't slowed down at all. I mean, they have more weapons, a lot more weapons. Devontae Adams leaves the Packers, and all hell breaks loose as far as their wide receivers are concerned. Both teams have great quarterbacks. Mahomes, I think, now is better than Rodgers, but Rodgers, right, you don't have anybody really to throw the ball to. And this is another thing about Rodgers sometimes. Like, I don't know. He had such a weird offseason, and I don't know how he communicates to these players. He just seems like a bit of an – he's a little weird. He's weird the way he comes across. Mahomes, not so much. I don't know if that has much to do with it either, with any chemistry problems he might have with these receivers.
Well, he's a lot older. You have to think when he came into the league, all his buddies are gone. Like you come into the league 4, 5, 6, 7 years, they don't stay around. That's 4 or 5 years. That's a good career. But so he's going on. What was he, 05 draft? What is this, 12, 14 years or so? So it's kind of this overturn, this new group. I mean, not to make any excuses. He's still talented. You give the dude a couple receivers, I bet they could win some games.
That's where they're struggling, receiver. They need you, Matt.
Who's your GM? No, I mean, they need a GM. Go. You got one of the best quarterbacks. What do we do? Let's put somebody around him. He can get you the ball.
All right, we're going to get into the third hour of halftime after the break. Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South joins us. And 1:15, we got room for texts and calls when we come back from the break. 877-377-6963. Halftime is right back.
Have a loan with a variable or balloon interest rate and worried about your cost rising? Interest rates are rising and you may have a problem. Farm Credit can fix that. Talk to Farm Credit about locking in a long-term fixed rate for the life of your loan. Farm Credit's long-term fixed rates offer peace of mind in changing economic times. We're offering the longest terms in the ag industry. Talk to Farm Credit today. Find an office near you at myaglender.com. Equal housing lender.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisol Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisol and online at harryrobinson.com.
Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company has 2 locations, 1316 South Zero and 200 South Zero Street in Fort Smith, serving the glass and glazing needs of Fort Smith, Northwest Arkansas, and Eastern Oklahoma, commercial and residential. Tub and shower enclosures, mirrors, glass table, and countertops cut to custom size are just a few services offered by Arkansas Glass and Mirror Company. Arkansas Glass and Mirror stocks laminate glass, plexiglass, Lexan, window glass, and mirror and plate glass. For more information, call 646-4300. That's 646-4300.
Hey, this is Butch at Whitspring, your authorized Mercury dealer. Now is a great time to upgrade to a new Mercury outboard with the most advanced 4-stroke on the market. And who doesn't like V8 power? All the way from the 200 Pro XS to the 300 Pro XS, plus great lower horsepower. But it's also a great time to get your Mercury or Mercruiser ready for winter with oil changes and your yearly service, plus treatment for your electric fuel pumps. And let's not forget about draining those Mercruiser blocks. That's Whitspring, 823 North 11, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, we're stuck with the clouds. We'll see occasional showers and thunderstorms today. Our high this afternoon will be in the low 70s north, upper 70s south. Occasional showers and storms with some heavy pockets of rain tonight. Overnight lows in the 50s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Tally at the 40, midfield, at the UCF 40, the 30, Tally at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Arkansas!
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. KERX, Paris, Fort Smith.
2 seconds, 1 second, he lets fly with a shot.
From the Bushlight Studios, this is ESPN 95.3. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I put my heart up. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! 1, 2, 3! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down, beautiful! Hey!
Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Third hour of halftime. Clay Henry with us here for 60 minutes as well. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Matt Travis, and you at 877-377-6963. Connor O'Gara joining us at the about 15 minutes. Get his reactions on what happened across the SEC this weekend. Big win for South Carolina over Texas A&M. Did you know that Jimbo Fisher's record with that program is 37-18? Kevin Sumlin was 39-16 in the same amount of games.
Sumlin started, I mean, when he was doing his thing, I mean, he was a little hotness for a while. He was definitely the pretty girl in the room, and had some success early. I mean, he had Manziel, Mike Evans. I mean, golly, you look at some of the players he had some studs, and it's A&M, Texas, those schools. It's kind of with all the talent they have in there. How they're not better. Where is he? He went to Arizona, I believe, and then didn't make it that long, and then I don't know where he is, but he had a time. With Chip Kelly had the time too. Remember when he went to the NFL? Like they were running that same type of stuff. It seemed like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kelly's got UCLA playing pretty well now.
Yeah,
a
he
couple
does.
years in a row. Meanwhile, Brian Harson's Auburn Tigers 3-4 again in the Razorbacks this weekend. 9-11 is Harson's record. Though I tell you, I think both these coaches are going to make it to the end of the season, and I wonder if A&M, there's so much focus on Jimbo's record right now with very good reason. I mean, you are what your record says, but this recruiting class that they've brought in for this year, I mean, would you worry about that program just having a total talent drain if they get rid of the coach that these kids came in to play for? Like, that was one reason why we looked at the preseason rankings, Matt, and saw A&M chosen 6th by the AP writers, and like so many of us, Connor as well, when he comes on, he'll rehash it. We're like, where is this coming from? You're not getting all of these kids, these 17, 18-year-olds, maybe a couple of 19-year-olds on the field very much this year, and if they do, are they really ready for prime time? Give them a year or two, maybe things change. But then again, if you change coaches, then the talent changes on the team too, more often than not, doesn't it?
I looked at their depth chart for this past weekend in the participation chart. They played 23 freshmen against South Carolina. Now, some of them are redshirt freshmen. They're not, but they're playing a bunch of guys from that class over the last, they're going to use them for 4 games, right? They're going to preserve their redshirt. But the call is coming out from the Aggie faithful. They want him to hire an offensive coordinator. Daryl Dickey is his guy. It's been with him for a while. And Jimbo's his own offensive coordinator, but that's what's going to happen in the off season. I think his buyout is so prohibitive that he probably can withstand that the move to an offensive coordinator. But that's what everybody's hollering for.
Yeah, I mean, you go out and get somebody like a Josh Heupel. That I mean, I'm not saying you get him, but I'm saying that style of offense, you got to find somebody you mesh with. Yeah, yes. That's tough to get to. Phil, I was going to ask you with these ratings, because you say they were number 6 last year. They had a top rating. I wonder if this takes account this transfer portal and all these kids that actually. How many of these? When you sign 23 kids, 25 kids, and they're like, okay, this is a top 3 class. How many of these kids are half of them leaving every year with this transfer? Is that how it goes nowadays? Where you're not just losing 2 or 3, you're losing half the turnover.
I don't know if it's half, but I mean again, I think it depends program upon program. I would imagine you lose quite a few of them though.
But if you're losing 7, that's a third. That's a lot of them. Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah.
Most of the time, if you're an SEC program, the players that you're losing are players that you're comfortable losing. I'm not saying Arkansas wanted to lose Fouché and Brooks. They did not. Oklahoma didn't want to lose Jaden Hazelwood.
Yeah, he's a stud.
But you look at Auburn's quarterbacks and their transfers, they weren't getting playing time. That's why they left. And that's, and Alabama I think they lost 6 last year. They did not want to lose Drew Sanders. They did not. But the rest of them, apparently, Saban says, they need to go somewhere where they can play. So there's some of that goes on. But, SMU's fixing to get decimated with portal transfers.
That's what I was. Yeah, that's Rhett Lashley. That's Arkansas's own right there, man. So that's not good. They started off actually pretty good this year, and then just fell off a little bit.
I think it was double-digit players that said they're sitting out the rest of the season. Yeah, because they can't go into the portal until that 2-week window after the regular season ends.
They don't want to play more than 4 games, so they don't lose this year.
And they're a private school.
That rule might change if that's what starts to happen.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean the reason you got the 2-week window is to have a little, to have a little knowledge so exactly of what what your team is going to look like, and that you don't just have this mass exodus during the season, but there are usually little tweaks that have to go along with that. And I think of remember, Auburn's got transfer quarterbacks there. Nobody's working out. A&M's got a guy that they recruited in King, and Max Johnson came over as a transfer, and things haven't worked out. There is Hendon Hooker is building like a little bit of this Joe Burrow story. You transfer out from a program, not at the same level. Hooker was at Virginia Tech, good, but not Ohio State, where Burrow came from, and nobody saw Burrow like turning into the Heisman winner and first overall pick the way that he did. He did have a good first year at LSU, not great.
He was Ohio State. Why did I think he was Notre Dame? He was Ohio State.
He's Ohio State.
Okay,
yeah. He was second in line. It wasn't Haskins that he was behind. I can't remember exactly who it was. Anyway, we're going to take the phone call. It's Cody here, who's been on hold for a bit. Cody, how you doing, man? You're on halftime.
Hey, how are you gentlemen doing?
Good. What's new?
Hey, not a whole lot. Hey, you know how you are talking about A&M? I love to rub a little salt in the wound anytime it's about a team or a university like that. A&M's just going to A&M. your head coach is going to have to be bigger than your university. Jimbo's naturally not likable. I think we can all agree on that. I mean, you don't really just listen to a press conference and think.
You wouldn't want to go have a beer with him? Yeah.
Dude, I would hate to have a beer with that guy.
Yeah.
I'm serious. He's a know-it-all, man. I don't think he probably takes coaching that well, but he preaches for his players to listen to him. How the hell are you supposed to listen to that? Anyway, Alabama's successful with the model in place because I wonder if they've always had it that way, as far as the white elephant stuff. That Saban's bigger than that university, no matter what you say. I mean, Bear Bryant was too. So what they have at the end of the day is they have players that are going to stay and follow their leader. A&M's trying to always play catch-up, find a way, use money, things like that. Their university isn't authentic towards winning championships. Have they ever won a championship?
Not that I know of, nor have they ever played for one that we're aware of either.
Right. So once you get some money to get somebody that's bigger than a university to make you better. So that's the only thing I can think of for A&M to have success in the way they want. The other thing I wanted to talk about was this weekend's game against Auburn. I wonder if it's going to be like Cincy and the other games we played earlier in the year where we played the 4 down front. We've got some of our secondary back. Maybe we sell out and we just stop the run the whole game, like Matt alluded to earlier. Don't turn the ball over. Play smart. Score in the red zone. As long as you do that, you stop the run, you limit Auburn, you put the pressure on their quarterback, which I don't think that play has been really that great to where he could beat us. So make someone who hasn't shown that they can beat a team this year beat us. And their running game is good enough to where if they get going, they could beat us. So maybe just stop the run, play like you were earlier in the year. You don't have a big passing threat. This should be a winnable game, but I appreciate your guys' time, and y'all enjoy the rest of your day.
Cody, thanks. No, the quarterback play at Auburn hasn't been just okay. It's been atrocious.
You make him beat us, right, Phil? You say take away something, we're taking away the run. You make Auburn's quarterback beat us.
Absolutely, and I think part of that is getting the lead in this football game and putting the pressure. I mean, there's the two ways to put him. One, stop the run, but the other thing is it's like if you get ahead of Ole Miss, I don't know if they've got the kind of passing game to come back on you quickly. Auburn is the same way, but in this sense, they're a poor man's Ole Miss. They're a pauper's Ole Miss. They're jumping off of the train car with a hobo pack behind them. That's the kind of quarterback. I mean, Robbie Ashford is completing less than 48% of his passes. T.J. Finley,
the ones
one
that
touchdown,
he's not completing,
4
the other teams
interceptions.
catching.
Right? Yeah. I mean, it's been atrocious.
It's the turnovers.
It's been the worst quarterback play in the entire SEC. And at times that includes Vanderbilt. They have a lower completion percentage than Vandy, for crying out loud. So that's the Auburn quarterback play has been terrible. Terrible. There's no way that the passing game for Auburn beats Arkansas. Like I'm saying, if that happens, then sound the alarm bells.
We had a caller we were talking about earlier, taking something away, making somebody else beat you. And I think that's what Belichick could do, or certain they'll make more of a point. They're like, hey, we're going to take their tight end away, or we're going to take away their Z receiver. And so when we're looking at this game, bend don't break. We want to get turnovers. If we want to make sure we try to stop the run and make that quarterback try, because he hasn't proven yet that he can beat somebody. And if they beat us and he throws and he all of a sudden has 70% completion and throws for 400 yards, then we deserve to lose. Make him be the one that has to beat us.
Yeah, I mean, it's a limited offense. They've scored no more than – they've put up 34 at Ole Miss, but outside of that, man, they are about a 10 to 17-point team against even halfway decent schools. Like Missouri, 17 points against Missouri. Did I just call Missouri halfway decent? I apologize because they're not. They're not very good either. All right, we're going to have a break. Yeah, inconsistently consistent to the point where they're just terrible, I think. That's what I see from Auburn offensively, at least passing-wise. And I do think Harson's going to be the coach for the rest of the season there, too, because they don't have an athletic director. And what happened the last time that an SEC school hired a head coach for football without a full-time athletic director? Didn't go very well. I remember Chad
Didn't go
Morris.
very well.
Not at all. Brought to you by Ouachita Farms. They make Lark, the full-spectrum seltzer that's made with a perfect balance of hemp-derived THC and CBD. Lark has no booze, no alcohol at all, no carbs, no sugar, no calories, but it tastes.
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Dent Source, the leader in auto hail repair for over 20 years. Our certified technicians service all vehicles and offer a lifetime warranty. Dent Source will keep you on the road with a courtesy vehicle and offer free pickup and delivery. Dent Source, now open in Fort Smith.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports, contests, and events with first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews and news for every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. That's BELIEVE, BLEAV 50. Bet online, where the game starts.
Ed Sheeran used to sing in the church choir, but now bad habits reveal his desire. The old saying goes, sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. God knows you can't overcome. That's why the faith that saves is trusting what Jesus has already done. There's nothing else you can say or use or do. Bad habits lead to doom. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Sometimes wounds just don't heal, and when they don't, reach out to the Tulsa Wound Center. They provide chronic wound care using all the latest technologies such as hyperbaric oxygen therapy, shockwave therapy, skin substitutes, and more. When it comes to life and limb, experience matters. Make sure you are being seen and treated by an experienced and certified wound physician. Founder and medical director Dr. Lamley has been a prominent wound care and hyperbaric physician for over 15 years. 10,000 patients can't be wrong. Online at TulsaWoundCenter.com or call 918-561-6661.
Intimidator UTVs offer premium components as standard, unlike those other companies. Items such as doors, skid plates, heavy-duty frames, and comfortable seating, all at one comparable price. See why Intimidator UTVs are the best choice by visiting your local dealer, Horns Outdoor in Hot Springs, or visit hornsoutdoor.net.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
One call cleans it all.
Nothing runs like a deer because nothing's built like one.
No House Advantage is changing the game by offering the most dynamic fantasy sports platform available today. Playing pick'em contests versus other people for a shot at winning $150,000 plus in cash. Download the app, choose a contest, select your player props, earn points for the correct picks, and climb the leaderboard for your shot to win big money every day. You can also test your skills versus the house and 20 times your entry if you hit all your picks. Bet on up to 5 player props, over-unders, or individual player matchups across every major sports league, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, PGA, MMA, and NASCAR. Sign up now with your promo code HTL. That's promo code.
Liberty game announced. Kickoff came earlier today, 3 p.m. SEC Network will be the telecast for Arkansas's next home game. Of course, that'll be followed by home dates against LSU and then Ole Miss, and then wrap it up the day after Thanksgiving against Missouri. Let's talk right now with Connor O'Gara from Saturday Down South. Connor, what's going on today, man? It looked like Ole Miss was. So let's put it this question in this term here: is Ole Miss really a pretender because of that performance against LSU, or is LSU just that good right now?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Ole Miss, for where it was, had weaknesses, and I think those were pretty well documented. And it wasn't that people were saying Ole Miss is going to win a national championship. I think we were more skeptical because of those weaknesses. And what I mean by that is game flow has really favored them so far. I mean, if you look at the way that it played out in those first 7 games, it's kind of crazy to think about it. They had played 420 minutes of football, and up until Saturday, they had trailed for just 22 minutes and 27 seconds all year. And so you kind of see when the wheels start coming off, Jackson Dart's not really built to come back in obvious passing situations, not having Zach Evans out there, who was a really surprising kind of late scratch, but not really with the knee injury. I think that hurt them as well. And then they had some defensive injuries to Troy Brown and A.J. Finley, arguably their 2 best players. But I think it's a little bit of that. I think they're a very one-dimensional offense right now. And I think part of it, too, is LSU is just unbelievable at saying, oh, wait, you scored 14 in a row. We're down 2 scores. No big deal. We'll just pretend that didn't happen, and then we'll just go on a massive run. They've done that against everybody except Tennessee, who people are saying right now might be the number 1 team in college football. So I think Brian Kelly deserves a lot of credit. I really do, because when you suffer that proverbial second loss, and you could have a lot of guys checking out, especially with a year 1 coach that's on the wrong side of 60. And LSU is playing at such a high level right now. They're a really scary team to face in this final month of the regular season.
And they get a bye, and then it's Alabama, Arkansas, UAB, and A&M. They're already bowl eligible. And I read this morning about a freshman linebacker for LSU, Harold Perkins Jr., who's becoming a huge difference maker for them. This is someone who had played the inside in high school, not playing there now, but you know, the trick for LSU has been getting him and B.J. Ojulari on the field at the same time. That's happening now, and they got into the backfield a lot and caused some havoc. And that's one thing moving forward. You're going to see a lot more of Harold Perkins on the field.
Yeah, he is a game wrecker. He's one of those guys that we're going to look up 2 years from now. He's going to have multiple all-conference selections. He's going to be getting all that NFL draft love. 5-star recruit who truly looks the part, and Matt House deserves a ton of credit for putting him in those right spots and for saying, yeah, we're going to trust that a true freshman can come into this league and disrupt the offenses, and he has done that. But my biggest defensive takeaway from that was, as Arkansas fans know, watching this LSU secondary sometimes has to be really frustrating because you see obviously the Arkansas pieces as a part of it. When Joe Fouché makes the Odell Beckham Jr. one-handed grab in the end zone like that, Arkansas fans had to just throw up in their mouths a little bit, right?
Just a little bit. Connor, man, I was so off on South Carolina when Arkansas played them earlier this year. I mean, I was just I would have went to Vegas and said they won't win 4 more games the rest of the year. What happened? What did I miss? Was the quarterback just getting used to the system there? What happened to they're having this success and now a top 25 ranked team?
Yeah, so the crazy thing is offensively, I mean, South Carolina fans want Marcus Satterfield, their offensive coordinator. They want him gone. I mean, they're really frustrated. If you just kind of look at some of the raw numbers with them, you might think, oh, South Carolina's got like a pretty good offense. But like what's actually been more so the story is the defensive improvement that they've shown. And Shane Beamer challenged his team before that Kentucky game. He said to his defensive line, like, you guys are supposed to be the strength of this unit. They got 2 5-stars on that defensive line with Zach Pickens and Jordan Birch, and they have finally looked like a group that is capable of being able to keep their head above water in that division. And against that A&M offensive line, I mean, I thought they really took over. So, yeah, it's been their defensive improvement, and then it's Beamer ball. I mean, he returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, And you're up 17-0 in the middle of the first quarter because of turnovers and what you were able to do to capitalize on them. And even though you've had some pretty frustrating play calling and you haven't necessarily gotten the ball into the hands of your best playmakers, and Marshawn Lloyd needed more love in that game early, you still kind of look up and you're like, wow, we're in really good position to control and win this game. And then sure enough, they beat A&M for the first time in program history, and you're kind of realizing South Carolina has a chance to go 8-4 in the regular season, and they could very easily finish their season in a Florida bowl game.
Yeah, they play, I believe, Missouri, and they don't play Missouri, Vanderbilt, Florida, and then they got that matchup against Tennessee. So I think they could win Missouri, Vanderbilt, Florida. I don't think they got enough. You think they got enough to beat Tennessee if everybody has all their bullets?
So in the preseason, I definitely had South Carolina beating Tennessee, and I had Tennessee at 9-3. But no, I'm not sticking with that. There's no way. I mean, I can't. Look, I think Shane Beamer deserves a ton of credit for being able to understand the situation that he walked into, knowing that they needed a change in mindset. And that's what I thought he did such a great job of last year, where they were so bad in the first three quarters of that game against A&M. They had 13 total yards or something like that in the first three quarters of that game, which they lost 44-14. And to see the difference between those two programs in a year is really telling. And that tells you a lot about Jimbo Fisher as well. But I think South Carolina, the way that they match up with Tennessee, not ideal. I love Cam Smith on the outside, the South Carolina corner, who is kind of their next great stud defensive back. Of course, everybody remembers J.C. Horn, but they are a team that, in my opinion, has its limitations. And when they're not getting those special teams touchdowns and they're not necessarily forcing turnovers in the same sort of way, I don't know that they're going to be quite as elite. But I do think that South Carolina is moving in the right direction. And even if they get blown out by Tennessee, they should still feel pretty encouraged.
A&M's 3-4, 5 games left. There are no guaranteed wins on that schedule for them because right now they haven't won a game on an opponent's home field. They do have to travel to Auburn. Who knows what the situation is with Auburn by then? UMass is the only guaranteed win for A&M, and even at that, I don't know if I'd say that's guaranteed. Aggies might miss a bowl game this year.
UMass is guaranteed, Phil. Come on, I mean UMass is playing that defense with Don Brown with the single high safety, and you can go over the top of them. Even A&M can have some explosive plays against that defense. They're pretty sorry. Look, I think that right now the conversation about Jimbo Fisher and the buyout is separate from what is wrong with this team. To me, they're not paying $86 million to get rid of Jimbo Fisher. I mean, I keep the numbers literally sitting here on my desk just so that I never slip up and talk myself into them actually paying that buyout. Because if you want to pay less than $50 million to fire the guy, you got to wait until after 2026. And that's assuming that he doesn't do anything to somehow get another extension from Ross Bjork. So, the numbers are just insane. I don't even know if that's real money, if that exists. But I think the issue is Jimbo Fisher needs a play call. 8 consecutive games against Power 5 competition in which they have not hit 25 points. That can't happen. That just can't. Jimbo Fisher needs to turn the reins over to somebody else. I think that throwing $2.5 million at Dan Mullen makes a lot of sense. I think going up to Nebraska and getting Mark Whipple on a $2 million bag makes a lot of sense. But Jimbo Fisher can't run this offense anymore. He's had too many failed quarterbacks. He's going to waste all of this talent if he is not willing to look himself in the mirror and realize that this just is not working.
Yeah, sprinkle something else in there. That we got one top 25 matchup this week in SEC, Kentucky at Tennessee. It's a 12.5 point. Any chance Kentucky can go into Knoxville and get the dub?
I don't think.
Or what do they have to do? Yeah.
Yeah, so their path is a little bit different than what I would have thought like last year, because this game was a shootout last year. It was fun. It was Will Levis, Hendon Hooker kind of going back and forth. I mean, nearly 700 combined passing yards in this one. And it could have a really similar formula this year because both of these teams have such great depth at receiver. Kentucky's path to winning this game has to be balanced. It has to be getting those explosive plays in the passing game after utilizing play action. That, to me, is when Kentucky's really humming. When they get Berrien Brown, the true freshman, over the top, the guy who can he can run past anybody. That, to me, is kind of what takes this offense to a different level, and a level that they didn't even necessarily have last year Wan'Dale Robinson wasn't going to go over the top and beat you in that way. So I think that Kentucky has the ability to make this a true four-quarter game. But the question is, can they actually cover on the outside? Can any human being cover Jalen Hyatt right now? Because nobody's been able to do that. And then if Tennessee gets Cedric Tillman, who was their best returning receiver coming into this year, arguably the best returning receiver in the SEC and one of the best in all of college football, if they get him back healthy, coming off of the tightrope procedure that he had, then that takes this offense to an even scarier level. So I don't think Kentucky wins this game, but I do think they finally have the tools to be able to play four-quarter shootouts against Tennessee.
Arkansas-Auburn Saturday. Hogs opened as a 3-point favorite. It's already up to 4.5. I don't know a lot of people who think Auburn, has necessarily what it takes here to turn things around. I mean, this is a team that gives the ball away at an alarming rate. They never take it away. They can't throw the ball at all. Haven't been able to stop many teams on the ground. Gosh, they got gashed by Ole Miss. I mean, this is about as good of a matchup as Arkansas is going to get until Mizzou.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, that matchup with the ground game is huge. And I know we've talked a lot about Arkansas can't just be one-dimensional on offense. There are times in which you need that passing game to really get going, and I thought it was paramount for them in the BYU game. But you look at the way that this sets up, man. Look, 448 rushing yards Auburn allowed in that game against Ole Miss. I understand that Ole Miss rushing attack is elite. So is Arkansas. So you would think coming off of a bye week, Rocket Sanders, KJ Jefferson, 1-2 punch all day. You can rely on that. You can keep this defense on the field and wear them down. They have very limited depth right now on that defensive line. Derek Hall deserves so much better.
All right. We'll leave it there. Yeah. Connor, appreciate you, man. Thanks for your time as always, and we'll be doing it again next week when Arkansas takes on we'll get Liberty next week. And Connor O'Gara joining us here from Saturday Down South. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime, and brought to you by Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. They are local. They are the company that you know and the company that you can trust. They're never going anywhere. All these other pop-up hail damage places that have been packing up and leaving town after just a couple of weeks. Nope, not Littleton's. Been in the community for over 30 years. Michael, his family, and his team are local and will remain local. So they're here to serve you every day, every week, every month, and every year. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair, the best and the name you trust. You find Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair on Facebook. All right, we're into the home stretch on Halftime, and we will come right back after a quick break.
Weather is on the way. Is your heating system ready? Let Ashley Air get your home ready with their $69 fall tune-up special. Ashley Air's trained technicians will check your system and make certain it's heating your home efficiently. It's just part of Ashley Air's 100% satisfaction guarantee. On game day, call the Hogs. When your heat needs repaired, call Ashley Air. Get your $69 fall tune-up now. Just go to AshleyAir.com to schedule your tune-up. That's AshleyAir.com. Proud sponsors of Razorback Athletics.
The world is always changing, and our lives change right along with it. So when you need a bigger space for that gym or remote office, a larger kitchen, or a yard to run around in, your local Weichert agent can help. And when your life changes again, and you're looking for that cozy place for just the two of you, your Weichert agent can help then too. Because at Weichert Realtors, we know that no matter how the world changes around you, we'll take you home. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Riley Farm Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. From general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, Dr. Bo Sparkman and Dr. Brogan give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confidence, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Have you recently experienced possible hail damage to your roof? Is it just time to replace the one you currently have? Brothers Roofing and Restoration is a properly licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Brother Alexander has over 25 years of experience in home insurance and adjusting and residential roofing. Brothers Roofing Crew has 17 years of experience themselves. He provides free estimates with the most competitive pricing in the area while using the industry's best materials. So call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother to inspect your roof.
The Party Place is in their new location at 1415 South Zero. 50% off Halloween decor. Hurry in while supplies last. The largest party supply store in Arkansas. Costumes starting at $9.99. Large animatronics, masks, wigs, fog machines, lights, and more. 10% off for veterans, teachers, and first responders. Now in their new location, 1415 South Zero by Atwoods.
When it comes to your vehicle dent repairs, you want a local professional that you can trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair is your place. Michael, his family, and team have been in the community for over 30 years and are the best in the business. When all the other pop-up hail damage places have packed up and left town, Littleton's is still here taking care of your vehicle every day. Stay local. Stay with the best. Stay with the name you know and trust. Littleton's Paintless Dent Repair. Highway 112 off I-540 in Pecola.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisal Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisal and online at harryrobinson.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, Surrey!
Tired of the ESPN broadcasters? Pause your TV and sync up the broadcast with Chuck and Quinn on hitthatline.com or your ESPN Arkansas radio station.
Oh, yeah! Woo. It's the big stuff. Who do you think you are, Mr. Big Stuff? You're never gonna get my love. Now because you wear all those fancy clothes. Oh, yeah. And have a big fine car. Oh, yes you do now. Do you think I can afford to give you my love? Oh, you think you're higher than every star above, Mr. Big Stuff?
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Bryce Harper. Suarez delivers. Swing and a drive, left field. It's deep. It's going. Yes! And it is gone. Yes! It is bedlam at the bank as Bryce Harper has put the Phillies on top. Are you kidding me? Oh, his 10th career home run in the postseason. And he may never hit a bigger one.
What a moment for Bryce Harper. Career-defining moment, in fact, with an 8th inning go-ahead home run. John Smoltz was right on it yesterday. It was just a pitch or two before that home run. He points out that Suarez is trying to hit the outside corner. You better be careful with that because Harper's got the power to go the other way if you elevate it at all. Next pitch, elevated, outside corner, gone. What a moment for Bryce Harper. And keep in mind here, without the designated hitter in the National League, Harper would be reduced to being a pinch hitter. He had the Tommy John surgery a few months back, so he He can't throw the ball. He would be relegated to just being a pinch hitter. And maybe he could have come up in that moment, but I don't think the Phillies would be where they are without him right now as a full-time DH. He's 18 for 43 in the postseason, 5 home runs, and 11 runs batted in. And between he, Rhys Hoskins, and Kyle Schwarber, the Phillies have 3 guys in that lineup. And Castellanos, if he gets going, could be 4 that could go deep on any count against any pitcher. So got to be careful. Third place to the World Series.
I mean, how fun! How fun was that? The Phillies Padres. They had a couple good games. The game before that, I know I texted you. That was a fun game as well. That is so he would only be getting 1 bat a game. He couldn't even play first, is what you're saying. That if unless he was in the American League with this new DH rule. So what a luxury to be able to get that surgery done, and just speaks to he's a true 5-tool player, right? Is that what they call the kids these days? Yeah,
he really is. Yeah, and he's the city of Philadelphia has just fallen in love with Bryce Harper, and it has to deal with the fact that he has produced as much as he has.
He looks like he's having fun, right?
Yes, he does. It's a city that's really difficult to please, but they're certainly pleased right now as a surprise World Series team going up against the Astros. And, I mean, they are the dominant franchise, I think, of Major League Baseball right now. 4th World Series in the last 6 years, and the Yankees just can't figure them out. Don't worry, New York, because there's a lot of other teams that can't figure out the Astros. I don't know if you heard Pedro Martinez on the TBS postgame last night. Of course, there's that famous quote when Pedro said, "The Yankees are my daddy." Well, now he got to have fun with the Yankee fans.
I have one question.
Yes.
For all of New York.
Yes.
New York. Who's your daddy now? I just want to know. I want an answer, and I want it quick. New York, who's your daddy? Should I say the Astros? It's not Big Papi anymore. It's not me.
There were signs in the stands that said Astros.
Oh, I love it. I love Pedro. Pedro is so good. He's great at analysis. He's got a great sense of humor. But, man, he can talk some smack, too, on himself and against the other team. That's right. That was in the stands. You're right, Clay. For the end of time now, the Yankees can always be reminded that somebody else is their daddy.
Yeah, and they had pictures of brooms. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah, the world's smallest violin is playing for the Yankees.
Well, if you don't want to let him dance in the end zone, don't let him score. You know, exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Aaron Judge, wrong time to go into slump.
You think he was spent? You think he
looked like he was just he just looked like he had been through the gauntlet. I'm sure he has. I mean, the pressure. I mean, it's got to wear on you.
I just watched that 30 for 30 again with the summer with McGuire and Sosa, and to hear them reflect on it, because it's so much easier to reflect on it when you're in the moment. It's hard to do that, but just how exhausted he said he was, and how mentally drained every day, and that McGuire started getting real short and real snippy and real harsh with the media, because it's just like, man, he just
didn't do that. But it just wore him out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The whole grind of it. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Not necessarily that, but this, like, he just didn't have anything left to give. You just
Roger
wore
Maris,
out.
Same thing happened to him.
Yeah,
I mean, his hair fell out.
I mean, there's a difference here for these teams. There were other players on all of those teams who had good years too. The Yankees this year were basically. I mean, Stanton was hurt quite a bit of the year. Donaldson was up and down. Kind of Falefa's okay, but he's not the kind of hitter that can help carry a team. Judge carried that team from the start to the finish.
Rizzo was just every now and then.
Right, and that's right. Rizzo was sort of the same way. But, I mean, I think that there was obviously the spotlight of chasing Maris's American League record, and then just playing in New York, and the weight that goes along with being the big player on the Yankees. Keep in mind, I mean, he's playing on his last year of his contract, so there's added pressure to that. He's made himself a lot of money with the season he had. But Judge right now has just been a terrible postseason player. 3 seasons in a row, last 3 years, he's 10 for 70 in the postseason.
I kind of translate it to being so good at shooting a three. We've seen Golden State be the outlier, but if all you're doing is hitting home runs and striking out, I mean, you got to be able to play baseball and hit the ball. You got to be able to play basketball and do a lot of the other things instead of just being a one-trick pony.
Yeah, well, the Yankees were basically a one-trick pony. It was Aaron Judge and not much else.
Not that he's not amazing, right? Like I'm not talking. Yeah, he's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. Yeah.
But you can't be. It is impossible to carry a team for 6 months and then October with all the pressure that goes on to it. You got to have somebody else to help you out, and nobody for the Yankees hit at all in the postseason. And now it's 13 years in a row without a World Series appearance for the Pinstripes, second longest stretch in franchise history, and yes, the world's smallest violin plays for New York Yankee fans. Halftime brought to you by Pradco Fishing Lures. If you're doing cold water bass fishing anytime soon, make sure you got the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. because it's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad. You can work it from the top of the water column to the bottom. Doesn't matter if you're looking to win a bass tournament or just whoop up on a bunch of bass and white stripers. Have the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. with you, and you're going to catch them. And you'll find the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. at lurenet.com and tackle stores all over the place. And we are nearing the very end of halftime here on a Monday afternoon, and we'll get into Arkansas Rogers State, preview that one as well, and have some sound from Eric Musselman on a rare Monday night exhibition basketball game at Bud Walton Arena. And halftime wraps up next.
Nobody has a better selection of 2022 and 23 Fords than Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. More than 36 new Fords have arrived or are on the way. Ford F-150s, Expeditions, Escapes, Broncos, and Bronco Sports are all at Harry Robinson. And you will never pay more than MSRP. That's Harry Robinson's promise to you. The biggest and best selection of new Ford vehicles are at Harry Robinson's Salisaw Ford. 1 mile south of exit 308 off of I-40 in Salisaw and online at harryrobinson.com.
If you are looking for a tractor to fit your farm or property, from landscapers to ranchers, take a look at the all-new Bad Boy tractors, built tough to be a workhorse in the field. Bad Boy has a history of combining power, performance, and quality, and you will find that in every tractor they sell. See your local Bad Boy tractor dealer in Western Arkansas, Alma Tractor and Equipment in Alma, or visit almatractor.com.
Flu season is here, and Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has flu shots available now to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store still has COVID vaccinations and boosters available for ages 5 and up, as well as shingles, pneumonia, and whooping cough vaccines. Call 452-6116 to schedule your flu or vaccine shot appointment, or stop by Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store opens 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Hell is a big enough problem on its own. Good Thing Dent Source LLC is on the job, specializing in auto hail repair from personal vehicles to large fleet. Dent Source LLC makes customers smile, one vehicle at a time. High insurance deductible? No problem. Dent Source LLC will pay your deductible. Need a loaner vehicle during repair? No problem. Dent Source LLC has free loaner vehicles. Stop by 2820 South Zero Street across from Play It Again Sports, or call 479-337-4443. That's 479-337-4443. Dent Source LLC. No problem.
Chuck Barrett here. I know a thing or two about making great calls in Arkansas. And when it comes to your home service needs, make the call to Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Paschal offers plumbing services from simple drain repairs to running all new lines. And right now, you can replace your water heater with a professionally installed system from Paschal. Take $150 off a new traditional water heater or $300 off a tankless system. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric. Arkansas owned. Arkansas operated. GoPaschal.com.
Van Alma Tire Center is always right around the corner from you, with all the major brand tires for you to choose from. Bridgestone, Firestone, Cooper, and more. Turn into Van Alma Tire Center for all your tire needs, alignments, oil changes, brakes, and more, with service you can depend on. Van Alma Tire Center is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle and tire needs. Right around the corner at 6805 Alma Highway, 5 miles east of Van Buren and 2 miles west of Alma.
Back out of Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Got my buddy Noel Harvey with me. Noel, when people come into the finance department, one of the things you're going to be able to talk to them about is all the warranties that Ford offers.
Absolutely. You guys, it doesn't matter how many miles a vehicle has on it. We can make sure that you can protect your investment. If you're going to spend a lot of money on it, the last thing you want to do is spend even more money on it. We've got warranties that'll carry these things out to 150,000 miles, 200,000 miles. All you got to do is give us an opportunity to show you what we can do. Here at Randall Ford, we've got the premium warranties from Ford Motor Company. We also have third-party warranties for those older cars from ASC out of Mountain Home, Arkansas. Guys, we're going to get you taken care of no matter what here at Randall Ford. 24 hours a day at randallford.com, and you know where we're located at. We're the fourth oldest Ford dealership in the continental United States. 5500 Rogers Avenue. Come see us.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, goodbye to your seats. Get back, gnashing teeth. Ooh, I want all of your mind. People turning TV on, it looks just like a window.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Oh, goodness gracious. To see this coming through here from the Monday press conferences. Steve Sarkisian had to apologize to Texas fans because he left the field after the loss to Oklahoma State this past weekend before the Eyes of Texas were played. So he made an apology for that very reason at his press conference. Quote, "As you know, I owe an apology to Longhorn Nation. I made a mistake at the end of the game in not singing the Eyes of Texas when the game was done. That was not anything intentional, not anything that had to do with our players. Blah, blah, blah." Wow. Making apologies now for not staying on the field to sing the Eyes of Texas. My gosh, how precious is that?
I love it. That's my kind of stuff.
So that's
right
that's the thing they do, win, lose, or draw on every football, basketball. Is it just football, or so that's something they got to do?
No, I've seen them do this at baseball.
Like
I've seen them do this at baseball.
If you had a coach that didn't call the what, like if you lost and they were, but you don't call the Hogs when you lose. You know, like it's like I don't know. Yeah.
What is the Eyes of Texas? Is that their school song?
Oh,
it's a song that kind of goes with "I've been working on the railroad."
It's not that song.
Right.
The stars at night are big and bright.
No, we're not going to sing it. You
that
can try
one,
to get Matt and I to sing it, but we're not going to sing
that
it.
song. I like that song, which Pee Wee sang, of course, in the phone. Was it in the phone booth?
Yes,
outside
yeah,
the
that's
Alamo?
how he was proving that he was in
Right.
Texas.
Much better than the Eyes of Texas. But I've seen Texas baseball players after they lose, you know, they go in front of the dugout and they do their whole, they have the, you know, the hand signal for the Eyes of Texas and all that. There's plenty of other schools that do the same thing. Aggies do. Razorback, I mean, the Hogs do it too. Basketball, I've seen the women's team do it. Not baseball, but I guess for Texas, it's a thing. You know, you don't have much of a choice. You got to be out there and make it seem like you really, really care about this Eyes of Texas song that everybody else seems to care about so much. I guess Sark might as well just walked off the field, Matt, with the horns down. It would have been the same thing, right?
That's how bad, just spit in my face. Yeah, that's how bad it was, huh? Yeah, I mean, I get the whole respect and the whole ceremony of it. But I, as a coach, as a player, you know, when you get your butt whooped, you get your tail whooped. It's you're ready just to go. Let's go get the taste out of our mouth and let's move on to the next game.
There's just
Matt, when y'all won in Austin, which was one of my favorite all-time victories for Arkansas. I mean, y'all just pummeled them. After the game, did y'all sing in the locker room? You know, the song that, you know, that they sang in the 60s and 70s. I don't give a damn about the whole state of Texas.
No, we sing
Coach,
the same
Coach
song
Nutt
every.
didn't do that.
No, man, we little horns down maybe, but you know that's what's part of it. You know, this is part of. It's like when you beat Florida and you do the gator chomp or whatever, or the throat slash or what. I mean, they're just this is part of it. They're just having
Was
fun.
there music in the locker room after a win for football then? Because we didn't have these phones that played music for us. We needed to. You probably had somebody that was the designated Napster downloader for the postgame thing, right?
Right. It was a celebrated locker room, man. It was. I'm telling you, everything is better when you win. It's going to school on Monday's better. Everything is better when it's a celebrated locker room. Everybody's everybody's smiling. You know, you worked so hard. You worked so hard that week to get it. They worked hard too. You know, you go to battle with your brothers every week, and when you win, you celebrate, man.
Victories are hard to get.
They're tough, man. We're 4-3 this year. We very easily could be 5-2. With that A&M game we could have had, we let that one get away, and so let's go get this one this week.
All right, well, Arkansas men's basketball is looking to get one tonight, 7 o'clock. Chuck and Zim will be on the call, 6:30 with the courtside show. Here was Eric Musselman Friday on a rare Monday exhibition game.
Basically been closed the last week. So, normally we would play on a weekend. Normally this game would be on Friday night or Saturday or even a Sunday. So that we could, have a weekend crowd. But Bud Walton is occupied right now with an event all weekend. So we won't even really get in there on Saturday or Sunday to even have a practice. So a little bit out of the ordinary for sure. Definitely out of the ordinary to have an exhibition game on a weekday. But it'll give the guys a good opportunity. They'll have to go to class all day on Monday and then go straight from class to shoot around. So, that's a little bit more of a normal weekday look. 8 years I've done college, I've never experienced an exhibition game during a week, during, a school day. So it'll be a good learning experience for me as well.
Yeah, it sounds to me like, the head men's basketball coach is in charge of everything that goes along with his program, outside of the scheduling in the arena that doesn't have anything to do with basketball. An esports tournament this weekend is the reason that this is a Monday evening exhibition. But at least it doesn't go up against any other football.
What is that?
Esports tournament.
So you've seen Entourage. That's what I was gonna say. You've seen Entourage, right? And Turtle goes up there and he's like, they're going in to do the show, and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna do a drug test," and they're like, "No, dude. If they couldn't smoke weed, we wouldn't be able to have this tournament. We're not doing a drug." You remember that scene? No, that was so bad.
It would be like drug testing bands.
Or it'd be like them doing for steroids in the 90s for baseball. It's like drug testing bands, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
There's certain things that you just got to let happen, though. I don't think there would be any sort. You couldn't.
Which weed's not the same.
It's
it's not the same thing as it was stigmatized. I don't think as it was 20 years ago, right?
True.
Like everybody's kind of we understand that opiates are worse. There's other things worse than weed. Yeah.
Well, look what's on the ballot in a couple of weeks,
right?
So it's definitely something that's become much more accepted for very good reason.
Well, the facts don't care about your feelings. You look at you look at the research and what they say, and it is good. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, agreed, and we'll see what happens in a couple of weeks as far as that's concerned. But it must sound a little. I don't know if annoyed is the right idea here, but when you hear a coach,
he's ready to play, ain't he?
I've never had this. I've never dealt with this in my 8 years as a coach.
School day.
It makes me think it's like, this is something different, so he's just got to learn how to deal with it. And,
he's ready. He's ready to go. He's ready to play.
I think he's ready. I think the team is ready. I think everybody's ready to finally get their eyes on them playing against somebody else that's not a European team. Doesn't matter who it is. And then Saturday against Texas is a whole other ball of wax. Clay, appreciate you. Have a great I know you got something going on tomorrow, so we'll talk again on Thursday.
Look forward to it. I enjoy my time with you boys.
Yeah, thanks, Clay.
Outstanding. Well, that's great. So we're with you tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. Ruskin and Zach coming up next, and don't forget to download the Eastside Liquor Halftime podcast soon. So for Matt and Clay, I'm Phil. Get up, get out, and get better.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
When I'm governor, we will educate